the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 776. Please watch the show. Although Zhao Kaibing didn't believe the police would do anything to him, given his weight and lack of evidence, no one could touch him. But attracting police attention wouldn't be a good thing. What's wrong? Tang Yun asked, perplexed, upon seeing Lin Yi suddenly pull over. Oh, nothing. Something seems to be wrong with the car. I'll go check it out. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't mention the bomb, lest it cause panic among the occupants. Of course, Lin Yi wasn't in a hurry, nor was he afraid the bomb would explode immediately. Zhao Kaibing and Li Chihu weren't fools. They couldn't set the bomb's timer to go off so quickly that it would explode before Lin Yi could even leave the parking lot, and they would be in trouble too. Can't you buy a better car? Chu Mengyao had always been skeptical of Lin Yi's rickety car. Oh, I guess I'll have to buy one soon. Or, you and Xiaoshu can drive it from now on. Lin Yi smiled and shrugged. Oh, you can drive that S5 from now on. Chu Mengyao didn't care about cars, she didn't like those kinds of things, so she wouldn't feel bad about letting Lin Yi drive it. Lin Yi didn't answer. With Tang Yun around, it was hard to answer. Tang Yun glanced at Chu Mengyao, pursed her lips, and said nothing. What Chu Mengyao could give Lin Yi, she couldn't even give him right now. However, Tang Yun's mood had changed significantly during this journey. She found that if she maintained a grateful heart, she wouldn't feel any hostility towards Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. They could both help Lin Yi, so why should she stop them? Besides, some things couldn't be prevented. The only thing she could do was to strive to be someone who could help Lin Yi. Lin Yi got out of the car and quickly discovered the time bomb that Zhao Kaibing had planted on the undercarriage. It was a very old-fashioned mechanical time bomb, and it was quite easy to deactivate. However, back home, in Songshan City, being able to obtain a bomb of this quality was already quite impressive. Those high-end electronic bombs weren't readily available. In such a short-term and hasty situation, he had to do what he could. Lin Yi checked the remaining time on the bomb. It had 17 minutes left, and the enemy had set it to explode in 20. After checking, Lin Yi didn't touch the time bomb, let alone disarm it. He simply stood up, got into the car, and started it again. What's going on? Chu Mengyao asked. Oh, I'll show you something interesting later. Lin Yi drove slowly down the road. Oh, something interesting? What kind of thing? I want to see it. Chen Yushu perked up at the news of something interesting. It's what you want to see most. Lin Yi realized that Chen Yushu had become a prophet. Every word she casually said almost came true. What I want to see most? Chen Yushu was stunned, a little confused about what Lin Yi was talking about. We'll know after we see it later. Lin Yi smiled. Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun were a little confused, unsure of what Lin Yi was talking about, and wanted to ask, but Chen Yushu had previously asked Lin Yi, and he hadn't given any specifics, so they didn't say anything further. Lin Yi drove to a spot where he could see the Kaibing building. It was in sight, but still a fair distance away. Lin Yi was afraid that if he got too close, the building might collapse and injure someone. Lin Yi found a spot with good visibility and parked the car. Why are we stopping here? Chu Mengyao asked, puzzled. Brother Arrow. When are we going to see the show? Chen Yushu asked. Right here, Lin Yi said. You get off here. Tang Yun and Chu Mengyao were stunned. Only Chen Yushu eagerly jumped out of the car and looked around. Right here, Lin Yi nodded. Right here, looking towards the Kaibing building. There's going to be a show soon. Chu Mengyao wanted to say something, but seeing Lin Yi's assurance, she didn't ask any more questions and followed Chen Yushu out of the car. Tang Yun also got out with her mother. Mother Tang was puzzled and kept asking Tang Yun what was going on. I don't know either, but Lin Yi wants us to watch a show? Let's just watch it, Tang Yun said to her mother. In fact, Tang Yun had already vaguely guessed something in her heart. Could it be that Lin Yi was going to do something to Zhao Kaibing again? Would it be dangerous? Tang Yun wanted to tell Lin Yi to be careful, but seeing Lin Yi's confident smile, she swallowed the words back into her stomach. You guys wait here for me for a while, Lin Yi said to Tang Yun, Chu Mengyao, and Chen Yushu without getting out of the car. What are you going to do? Don't listen to Xiaoshu and make trouble, Chu Mengyao was a little worried. Just returning some things to Zhao Kaibing. Lin Yi smiled and started the car, slowly driving towards the direction of Kaibing building. Sister Yao, Brother Arrow said he wanted to show us a show? What exactly is it? Chen Yushu looked at Chu Mengyao and asked in confusion. I don't know. Did I ask you to watch the Kaibing building? Chu Mengyao pointed in the direction of the Kaibing building. Oh, is Brother Arrow going to blow up the building? Oh, that's awesome. Chen Yushu was instantly excited at the thought. Brother Arrow is so good to me. I love you so much. Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yushu. What are you blabbering about? Nothing, Chen Yushu said, shutting up. Tang Yun frowned. Chen Yushu, wasn't she embarrassed? She dared to say anything? She wouldn't even dare to say that, would she? But was Lin Yi really going to blow up the building? Tang Yun had a vague feeling that this was indeed the case. Since Lin Yi had them waiting here and watching the Kaibing building, something must be happening there. But why would Lin Yi blow up the building? Was it just to please Chen Yushu? Although Tang Yun didn't think Lin Yi was superficial, taking a closer look at Chen Yushu, she was quite charming. As a boy, perhaps she would like her too? Lin Yi calculated the time and pulled into the Kaibing building's underground parking lot with 5 minutes remaining. After getting out of the car, Lin Yi locked it and quickly left the Kaibing building. A sneer crossed Lin Yi's lips. You still want to use a bomb? Then you can enjoy the power of the bomb. Meanwhile, in the monitoring room on the second floor of the Kaibing building, Zhao Kaibing and others were gloating. Chapter 777. The building collapsed again. We have to celebrate with some champagne tonight. With Lin Yi dead, our business in Songshan City will soar. Zhao Kaibing had always dreamed of killing Lin Yi, and now that his dream had come true, he was almost overwhelmed with joy. It seems like it's about time. The time bomb in Lin Yi's car should be going off soon, right? Zhang Yuzhao said, checking the time on his watch. Well, Chihua, go turn on the TV. I guess the news will be out soon, Zhao Kaibing ordered Li Chihua. Yes, young Master Bing. Li Chihua turned to turn on the TV, but at that moment, his cell phone rang. Li Chihua subconsciously took it out to check. It was Lin Yi calling. After a moment of hesitation, he pressed the answer button. Although he didn't know why Lin Yi was calling at this time, the thought of hearing the moment Lin Yi was blown up on the phone was a good thing. Hello? Lin Yi, what's going on? Li Chihua asked calmly. Brother Chihua? I suddenly remembered that I have something to do. I'll leave the car with you first. If anything goes wrong, I'll ask you to compensate me, Lin Yi said only this sentence and hung up the phone. Hello? What do you mean? What did you say? Huh? Li Chihua suddenly exclaimed, staring at the monitor screen with his eyes fixed on it. His whole body was frozen in place, as if he was cast under a spell. What are you doing? Zhao Kaibing was startled by Li Chihua's sudden and immediately shouted in dissatisfaction. Young Master Bing, it's bad, he's back. Li Chihua was shocked by Zhao Kaibing's scolding and finally came back to his senses. He pointed at the monitor screen and shouted, he's back. What do you mean he's back? Zhao Kaibing was stunned. Lin Yi is back, Li Chihua said anxiously. Lin Yi drove the car back to the underground parking lot again. What? What did you say? Zhao Kaibing was shocked when he heard Li Chihua's words. He turned his head to look at the monitor screen and was stunned. Lin Yi's broken van appeared in the underground parking lot of Kaibing building again. Quick, get this car out for me, we don't have the key. Even if we push the car out now, it's too late. There are less than 5 minutes left before the bomb explodes. Zhang Yuzhao also saw the scene on the monitor. He pointed to his watch and said, trembling all over, soldier, let's run for our lives, then go and dismantle the bomb and throw it away. The soldier was shocked and ordered quickly. Young Master Bing, we're running out of time. Besides, who would dare go? Li Chihua pondered for a moment, remaining relatively calm. It'll take us at least 2 minutes to get down from the elevator. Let's run, damn it. Then hurry up and push me downstairs. Lin Yi, fuck you. You're a jerk. Young Master Bing's eyes were bloodshot, and he was about to explode with rage. Li Chihua didn't dare to stop and pushed young Master Bing towards the elevator. Su Niangua and Zhang Yuzhao followed behind. As the four of them emerged from the elevator, they madly ran out of the building. Zhao Kaibing, not caring about the bumpy ride of the wheelchair, urged them all the way, hurry, hurry, hurry. The four of them finally got out of the building, running and scrambling. As they reached the opposite side of the building, They heard a loud bang followed by the rumble of the building collapsing. The once imposing, brand new Kaibing building was reduced to rubble in an instant. Zhao Kaibing watched his newly built building collapse, feeling truly overwhelmed. Gone? Gone again? Zhao Kaibing felt like he was dreaming. The first building collapsed just one day after it was built. The second building also collapsed just one day after it was built. This speed is unprecedented and will never be repeated. Li Chihua's face was ashen. He didn't expect Lin Yi to play this trick. Isn't this too insidious? There were less than 5 minutes left, and he just drove the car back. Who would dare to touch the car? Even if they knew there was a bomb, they didn't dare to get close. Fuck. What kind of bomb is this? Why is it so powerful? Zhao Kaibing asked with red eyes. TNT, I was afraid that I couldn't kill Lin Yi. After all, he is a yellow-level master, so I used strong TNT, Zhang Yuzhao said weakly. Damn it, my building, Zhao Kaibing almost cried. Is it easy for him? The first building was demolished by Lin Yi right after it was built. The second building was also blown up by Lin Yi right after it was built. But who should be blamed for this? Should I blame Lin Yi, or should I blame myself? Zhao Kaibing felt very cowardly. The bomb was supposed to kill Lin Yi, but in the end, Lin Yi was not killed. Instead, his own building was blown to the ground. Isn't this too unfair? If the building and Lin Yi were blown up together, Zhao Kaibing would have accepted it. As long as Lin Yi died, the building would be lost. The key point is that Lin Yi was fine. Young Master Bing, I didn't expect this. I should have used ordinary explosives earlier. Zhang Yuzhao saw Zhao Kaibing's distorted face and explained with a guilty conscience. Lin Yi, if I didn't kill you, I wouldn't even be called Zhao Kaibing. Fuck you, Zhao Kaibing didn't blame Zhang Yuzhao. Every wrong has its perpetrator. Zhang Yuzhao had good intentions. He'd used high explosives out of fear that he wouldn't be able to kill Lin Yi. How could Zhao Kaibing blame him? Lin Yi was the only one who could blame him for this. If Lin Yi hadn't driven the car back, would the building have collapsed? However, at this moment, Li Shihua's phone rang. It's Lin Yi, Li Shihua said cautiously, glancing at the caller ID. Answer it and see what he says. Zhao Kaibing gritted his teeth. Hello, Li Shihua answered. Brother Shihua, what happened to your building? My car's still in the underground parking lot. You're so irresponsible. You have to compensate me for my losses. Lin Yi's voice sounded a little frightened on the phone. Li Shihua wanted to curse, but hesitated and didn't. Zhao Kaibing, standing nearby, also heard what Lin Yi said on Li Chihua's phone. He reached out and said to Li Chihua, give me the phone. Li Chihua quickly handed the phone to Zhao Kaibing. Lin Yi? You're capable, we'll see, Zhao Kaibing said bitterly. Sir, what are you talking about? I don't understand. My car broke down in your building, so you should compensate me, right? Lin Yi said calmly. Did you hide any dangerous goods in the building? Or should I call the police? Chapter 778 Brother Arrow is too strong. Zhao Kaibing was practically fuming at Lin Yi's words. You're going to call the police? Who am I supposed to call? It's my building that's been blown down, okay, but Zhao Kaibing didn't dare ask Lin Yi to call the police. If they really investigated, it would inevitably reveal flaws. After all, Lin Yi's car exploded in the parking lot of the Kaibing building. If they investigated the source of the bomb, Zhao Kaibing was afraid something might go wrong. It's just a crappy van, and you're so short on money, Zhao Kaibing said angrily. Young Master Bing, that's wrong. My car is a luxury car. I spent 300,000 on it, Lin Yi said calmly. Damn. 300,000? Zhao Kaibing nearly threw the phone out of his hand. 300,000? Why don't you just rob someone? Do you think you drive a BMW? Even a BMW that's barely the same quality as your crappy van wouldn't be worth 300,000. 300,000, I'll compensate you. Zhao Kaibing didn't want to waste time with Lin Yi, but remember, we're not done with today's matter. My account is with Brother Chihua, just ask him to transfer the money directly to me. Lin Yi smiled and said, is your bank account overdue this time? Zhao Kaibing was short of breath because of Lin Yi. He hung up the phone and threw it to the ground in anger. Young Master Bing, this time, we are really going to go bankrupt. Li Shihua didn't care whether her phone was broken or not. She had built 2 buildings. The first one was mainly funded by Jin Gubang, and Li Shihua was just an auxiliary. But the second one was completely paid for by Li Shihua. The collapse of the building made Li Chihua's heart bleed. That was all hard-earned money, her own money, and it was gone just like that. Go and demolish it for me tomorrow. Demolish the shantytowns, demolish the orphanage. Build a house for me, I want to get back all the losses, Zhao Kaibing shouted at the top of his lungs. Start a demolition project for me as soon as possible. Yes, Master Bing, Li Shihua nodded, but the Kaibing building, don't build it. Rent an office space first, and when the shantytowns and the orphanage make money, rebuild the Kaibing building. Zhao Kaibing didn't care about his face anymore. He also knew that the Kaibing real estate company was seriously injured. If it didn't make money, it would really go bankrupt. Zhao Kaibing wanted to make some achievements to show the Zhao family, but now not only did he not make any achievements, but 2 buildings were collapsed. Let alone entering the Zhao family, it would be good if he was not treated as a joke by the direct descendants of the Zhao family. Okay, I got it. I'll go to the shantytown tomorrow and handle this myself, Li Shihua sighed. How to deal with Lin Yi was still Zhao Kaibing's business. At least the men under his command couldn't possibly stand up to Lin Yi. It seemed pointless to play tricks on Lin Yi. Just like today's bomb, not only did it fail to kill Lin Yi, but it also blew up his own building. How unlucky. Not far from the building, Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, Tang Yun, and Tang's mother stood on the side of the road, staring intently at the Kaibing building, wondering what might happen. Sister Yao, is there anything wrong with the Kaibing building? Chen Yushu asked anxiously. Don't worry, just wait and see, Chu Mengyao, not knowing what Lin Yi was up to, could only explain. Oh, Chen Yushu nodded. When there was a loud bang, and like a movie special effect, the Kaibing building collapsed, instantly reduced to ruins. The Kaibing building collapsed. Chu Mengyao's eyes widened, as did Tang Yun and her mother. Oh my god, Brother Arrow is so strong, Chen Yushu smacked her lips, staring at the scene in disbelief. She hadn't expected Lin Yi to collapse the Kaibing building. She'd said that before, but it was just a statement. Collapsing the building wasn't something that could be done so easily. But Lin Yi had done it. Chen Yushu's heart suddenly filled with sweetness. Brother Arrow was so kind to her. Just when she wanted to see the building collapse, he did it. His concubine was still very much favored. Chu Mengyao rubbed her eyes, a bit unconvinced by what she saw. It really collapsed? Tang Yun wondered if Lin Yi had been a bit too cruel. He'd just collapsed someone else's building, and now he'd collapsed it again? Young Master Bing had said this building was worth 100 million. Just like that, 100 million was gone? How much money was that? Tang Yun was a little dazed. Her mother was also distressed. How much money would it be for her family? It's gone just like that, what a pity. Was it fun? Lin Yi had already returned when everyone was surprised. Oh, Brother Arrow, you are so awesome, Zia Oshu is so excited, Chen Yushu screamed. I finally saw the building collapse live, it was so fun. Lin Yi, how did you do it? Chu Mengyao was also a little surprised. How on earth did Lin Yi do it? Lin Yi, are you okay? Tang Yun was not to be outdone and asked with concern. Zhao Kaibing wanted to blow us up and installed a time bomb in the car. Lin Yi was not afraid to explain at this moment. He was out of danger and it didn't matter to tell them. I just drove the car back to their underground parking lot. Time bomb. Chu Mengyao was shocked. Before, you said the car had a problem, but you were actually checking the bomb. That's right, but I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry. Lin Yi nodded. Why would you do something so dangerous? You knew there was a bomb, but instead of running away, you drove the car back. Tang Yun felt a wave of fear after hearing Lin Yi's words. What if he hadn't timed it right? It wouldn't be the building that was blown up, but Lin Yi. Could it be that Lin Yi took this risk just to please Chen Yushu? Tang Yun felt a slight discomfort. Would that be giving them an easy time? Besides, what if the car was parked on the side of the road and it blew up someone else? Lin Yi shrugged. The best place I can think of for the explosion is their own building parking lot. No one can be harmed. Oh, so was Zhao Kaibing killed? Chen Yushu asked excitedly. No, I called them before the explosion. If they were dead, who would I ask to compensate for the car? Lin Yi hadn't intended to kill Zhao Kaibing. Even if he hadn't made the call, they would still have seen him driving the car back from the surveillance camera. So, Lin Yi had just made the call to annoy Zhao Kaibing and Li Chihua. Chapter 779 Worse than Zia Oshu. Oh, Brother Arrow, why did you say you were going to change your car soon? It turns out you had already planned it. You're even meaner than Xiaoshu, Chen Yushu said with a grin. Oh, not as mean as you, Lin Yi smiled. Of course, but Xiaoshu just likes bad guys. Chen Yushu felt that Lin Yi was right up her alley, and they could form a prank duo. Lin Yi, you've collapsed Zhao Kaibing's building again. Nothing's wrong with that, right? Tang Yun frowned, feeling that Chen Yushu's words were a little too obvious. Even if you like Lin Yi, you can't say that in front of me, right? Did I do that? Their own bomb blew up their own building, and I took a car in, and I still have to ask them to compensate for the damage, Lin Yi said with some heartache. That was my first car, I have a lot of feelings for it. We got engaged in this car, right? What are you talking about? Tang Yun was very shy. What Lin Yi said reminded her of that night when Zhu Ruiming drugged her and she was touched by Lin Yi for the first time in his car. It was also at that time that she began to confirm her feelings and wanted to be with him. It seems so? Tang Yun was a little confused about her own mental journey. It seemed that she liked Lin Yi all of a sudden. Lin Yi and Tang Yun were talking, but the young lady seemed oblivious to what she was saying. Her expression remained nonchalant, as if none of this had any bearing on her. After Lin Yi and Tang Yun finished, she asked, Lin Yi, how are we going to get back now? I've already called Uncle Fu, he should be on his way, Lin Yi said. You guys can take the bus back later. When you pass the bank, can you help Aunt Wang cash her check? She's never done that before, okay, the young lady nodded, her thoughts unclear. Uncle Fu's car, while large, could only seat 5. Adding Lin Yi would mean one more person, so Lin Yi decided to walk, letting Uncle Fu drop Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Tang Yun off to school first. Chu Mengyao, clearly concerned about the number of people, asked, how are you going to get back? I'm going to ask Song Lingshan what paperwork is required since the car was damaged, Lin Yi said. As they were talking, Uncle Fu's Bentley drove up. Lin Yi had Mother Tang take the front passenger seat, while Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Tang Yun sat in the back. Mother Tang was riding in such a fine car for the first time in her life. Looking at the gleaming paint, she was overwhelmed with excitement. This was a car she'd only ever seen on TV. Now, she could ride in one herself. Tang Yun, on the other hand, felt a little awkward. Without Lin Yi, she felt a bit embarrassed to ride with Chu Mengyao, but she felt relieved when she remembered that Chu Mengyao had come in Lin Yi's car before. Uncle Fu, the driver, showed no disdain towards Tang Yun and her daughter, remaining respectful. In reality, even if Lin Yi wasn't a Xuanyuan master, Uncle Fu would still be respectful to him and those around him. This was because of Chu Pengzhan and because Lin Yi had saved Chu Mengyao several times. These two reasons alone made Uncle Fu treat Lin Yi and those around him with unwavering respect. Moreover, just yesterday, Uncle Fu discovered that Lin Yi was a Xuan-level expert, capable of even creating a Wong-level high-level dog. He was horrified and almost incredulous. Now, his admiration for Lin Yi was genuine, a reverence for the powerful. This was also why Lin Yi felt comfortable letting Tang Yun and her daughter ride together in Uncle Fu's car. At least Uncle Fu wouldn't be rude to her. And Miss and Xiaoshu were both kind-hearted, and they certainly wouldn't resort to flaunting their wealth against Tang Yun. That was something Miss disdained. In fact, the quarrel between Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun had never even touched upon family background or money. Their arguments were simply about who was prettier and who had more fun. This amused Lin Yi, but it also gave him a deeper understanding of Miss's character. Miss treated people regardless of wealth. Her hostility toward Lin Yi during their first meeting was likely rooted in her wariness and rejection of strangers. The eldest daughter had never had many friends since she was a child. How could she possibly accept a man living in the same villa with her all of a sudden? Thinking back to the eldest daughter's previous sarcasm, wasn't it actually a reflection of her inner loneliness? Lin Yi found that the longer he interacted with the eldest daughter, the more he found her to be a very lovely girl. Watching Uncle Fu's Bentley drive away, Lin Yi started walking towards the school, thinking as he walked. Should he buy a 7-seater station wagon? Otherwise, he was really worried that it wouldn't be able to accommodate so many people when he went out in the future. If he was taking Tang Yun, Kang Xiaobo, Xiaofan, and Liu Xinwen out together, a regular car would be enough, but if Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu also showed up, there would definitely be too much space. As for Lin Yi's talk of asking Song Lingshan what to do if the car was damaged, it was just an excuse. Lin Yi didn't want to embarrass Chu Mengyao and the others, so he didn't get in the car with them. Xuanyuan had a good harvest these past 2 days. Yesterday she slaughtered a big fat sheep and successfully escaped from Songshan, which made her very happy and proud. Xuanyuan felt like the mouse had tricked the cat. Today, her luck seemed to be very good too. Not long after Xuanyuan left the house, she saw a member of another thief gang. He had just stolen someone's wallet and was looking for a place to count the money. Xuanyuan rolled her eyes and followed him calmly. Although she stole money, she was very principled. She specialized in stealing the money from wealthy and corrupt officials and some evil people who were rich but unkind, as well as the money of her peers. The so-called peers were naturally thieves too, and Xuanyuan would occasionally do some eating black things. Today, this member of the thief gang naturally became Xuanyuan's target. Xuanyuan followed the thief carefully, looking at the big wallet in his pocket with envy. It was a lot of money, more than 10,000 yuan. She didn't know where this guy stole it from, but the quality of the wallet was obviously a good one. He must be a rich man. Who knows, there might be some shopping cards or something like that in the wallet, which would be a huge profit. According to Xuanyuan's experience, many wealthy people have some anonymous shopping cards or vouchers from shopping malls and supermarkets in their wallets. After getting these things, they can go directly to the store to spend them. Chapter 780 Xuanyuan's trouble. If I have a shopping card, I can buy a lot of delicious food for the children in the orphanage. Xuanyuan pursed her lips, very envious. She followed the thief slowly and came to a somewhat remote back street. However, after following for a while, Xuanyuan felt something was wrong. Why didn't this thief take the time to open the wallet, take out the money inside, and then throw the wallet away after stealing it? Generally, thieves will not keep other people's wallets on them for a long time. They will take out the valuables in the wallet as soon as possible. No matter how high-end a wallet is, they will throw it away quickly. Otherwise, if they are discovered, they will be caught red-handed. Before, on the main road, it was understandable that the thief was careful, but now that they have come to such a back street, it seems a bit unreasonable for the thief to take out the wallet to have a look. Xuanyuan was a cautious person, a firm believer in the saying that there must be something fishy behind the unexpected. After sensing something was amiss, Xuanyuan's first thought was to give up. She wanted to turn and leave, but suddenly she noticed 4 burly men emerging from the alley behind her. Xuanyuan's heart skipped a beat, immediately realizing they were coming for her. Otherwise, how could such a coincidence be possible? The thief who had been walking in front also turned around, and the 5 of them formed a circle around Xuanyuan, cornering her against a high wall. Xuanyuan, do you still recognize me? One of the 4 burly men, a man wearing earrings and clearly the leader, stared intently at her, his yellow teeth bared, his eyes glinting with a sinister glint. Who are you? Did you recognize the wrong person? Xuanyuan laughed, glancing around, ready to flee. However, she realized the wall behind her was too high, and even if she wanted to, she couldn't. In front of her, there were 5 big men surrounding her. She wanted to break out, but that was wishful thinking. Although Xuanyuan was good at Qinggong, it didn't mean she could beat these 5 burly men. Xuanyuan did have some kung fu skills, but it was impossible for her to fight 5 against 1. Xuanyuan, have you really forgotten me? A trace of ferocious hatred appeared on the face of the man with earrings, and he stretched out his finger to point at his crotch. Fuck you, you little bitch, you kicked my balls, you won't forget it. Xuanyuan blinked, and suddenly remembered who was in front of her, and couldn't help laughing twice. It turned out to be Brother Blackbird. Haha, hello, I haven't seen you for a long time, isn't it a long time? I haven't seen you for half a year. I've been lying in the hospital for half a year. The man with earrings, Brother Blackbird, glared. I just stole the money of a little beggar, and you kicked my balls? Aren't you a thief too? What justice and morality are you talking about to me? Let me tell you, I have been looking for you for more than half a year. Why are you looking for me? We are not very familiar with each other, right? Xuanyuan was really scared. With these 5 big men here, she was no match at all. What are you doing? You damn fireman, how much money did you take from my men? How are we going to settle this account? Brother Blackbird sneered. Xuanyuan, I tell you, if you fall into my hands today, you don't have to think about running away. I chose this geographical location specifically for you. It's not easy to lure you into the trap. Indeed, in this situation, no matter how good Xuanyuan's Qinggong is, he can't escape. No matter how good his Qinggong is, He is afraid of the wall being too high and can't jump up at all. It's not much, just tens of thousands of yuan. I can return it to you, Yu Xiao could only say weakly. Tens of thousands of dollars? Are you kidding me? All the money we earned over the years was taken away by you, at least hundreds of thousands. Brother Blackbird snorted coldly. Let's not count this account for now. What about my balls? I, Brother Blackbird, am also a well-known figure in the underworld. Now my balls were kicked out by a woman. Where is my face? Well, what do you want? Yu Xiao asked nervously. She wanted to say that she didn't mean it. Who asked Brother Blackbird to steal the money of a begging little girl and touch the little girl's private parts? Yu Xiao was so angry at the time that she attacked angrily and kicked Brother Blackbird's balls out. How could Brother Blackbird, who was alone, be Yu Xiao's opponent? In addition, Yu Xiao's sudden attack injured him, and Yu Xiao was good at Qingguang, so she ran away after the fight. Brother Blackbird didn't even have the chance to call for help. What do you think? I, Brother Blackbird, once swore to fuck you, a little bitch. Brother Blackbird looked at Yu Xiao with lust in his eyes. I'll give you two choices. One is to fuck me and then be my Brother Blackbird's woman. Then we'll be a family from now on, and we won't mention what happened before. Well, what else? What about the other choice? A few black lines appeared on Yu Xiao's forehead. Be Brother Blackbird's woman? She might as well kill herself. There is another choice, but I advise you not to choose it. Brother Blackbird chuckled and said, there is another choice. After you have fucked me, let my brothers fuck you together. Then we'll be even. Brother Blackbird was just a thief. He didn't dare to kill anyone, so he put forward these two conditions. Well, this is not so good. Yu Xiao rolled her eyes. Actually, I already have a boyfriend, so I can't agree to your choice. Boyfriend? Are you kidding me? I heard you are still a virgin. Brother Blackbird liked his lips. I haven't slept with a virgin yet. Haha. Well, actually, this is a rumor. I already have a boyfriend. I actually lost my virginity a long time ago. I am a prostitute. It's not fun. Yu Xiao was anxious. How come there was no one passing by in this alley? It's been so long, and there are still only a few people? She didn't even have the chance to ask for help. Oh, in that case, then you can only choose the second way. It's just for fun anyway. We don't care whether you are a prostitute or not, right, brothers? Brother Blackbird asked the others with a lewd smile. Don't care, ha ha ha. Several big men laughed after hearing this. But my boyfriend cares. Yu Xiao was startled and said quickly, if you touch me, my boyfriend will kill you. I tell you, he is very powerful. His martial arts skills are unparalleled. If you provoke him, he will wipe out your entire gang. Chapter 781. Dear, please save me. Ha 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 ha. Blackbird and the other men burst into laughter, their laughter incredibly joyful, as if they just heard the funniest joke in the world. The police can't even claim they can wipe out our entire gang, so how can your boyfriend? Is he Superman? Or Ultraman? One of Blackbird's men said sarcastically. Huh, this chick thinks her boyfriend is the protagonist of a fantasy novel? Is your boyfriend's name Liu Lei or Yang Ming? Another of Blackbird's men, who enjoyed reading online novels, also asked in a mocking tone. These characters were all the protagonists of a novel called Very Pure and Ambiguous Prequel. Yu Xiao was nervous. Facing the taunts of Blackbird and the others, she couldn't seem too guilty, so she could only let out a dry laugh. My boyfriend, isn't he here? Suddenly, Yu Xiao excitedly shouted, he's right behind you. Honey, come save me. Help. Help, pretend. You're trying to distract us so you can escape? How could we possibly believe you? Blackbird sneered, clearly disbelieving Yu Xiao's words. He believed Yu Xiao was desperate and had fabricated a boyfriend to confuse them and try to escape. Really? Yu Xiao continued to shout, save me, honey. I'm here. I'm your Yu Xiao. Lin Yi wasn't driving, so he naturally wouldn't take the main road. He relied on his memory of the school's direction to find a shortcut. Of course, Lin Yi wasn't worried about getting lost. As long as the sun was in the right position, he wouldn't get lost. This is the most basic rule of survival in the jungle. Only by being able to quickly discern direction can one avoid getting lost and, in turn, stay alive. Although Lin Yi was currently walking through a seemingly deserted alley, he knew he was heading in the right direction, so he wasn't worried. He hadn't been walking for long when he saw 5 large men besieging a young girl not far away. Lin Yi was the type of person who stayed out of trouble. Unless the person involved was someone he knew, he rarely intervened. However, the girl's voice sounded familiar. Furthermore, her cries for help startled Lin Yi. Was there someone else in this alley besides him? Lin Yi was startled. Why hadn't he sensed anyone else approaching? Could this girl's husband be such a skilled martial artist that even he couldn't detect him? However, Lin Yi's suspicions were clearly wrong. When Yu Zio called out honey, she was actually addressing Lin Yi, and there was no one else here. You called me, Lin Yi pointed at himself, somewhat bewildered. Although he recognized the girl before him, he had only met her once, certainly not a close friend. Lin Yi's voice startled Blackbird and the other men. They'd assumed Yu Zio was just yelling, and there was no one there. But Lin Yi's voice clearly changed their minds. Keep an eye on this chick. Don't let her get away, Blackbird gave his orders to his 4 men before turning to look at Lin Yi. The first sight instantly put his previously tense heart at ease. In his eyes, Lin Yi was nothing more than a gigolo. With such a skinny figure, how could he be a match for them? Even if Lin Yi was truly Yu Zio's boyfriend, he was probably only slightly more skilled in Qinggong. How could he possibly be a match for the 5 of them? So, with just one glance, Blackbird completely dismissed Lin Yi. Yet, honey, come save me. These guys are going to have sex with your wife, Yu Zio waved at Lin Yi. Huh? Lin Yi's eyes widened. Are these people going to play with my wife? Are they going to play with Tang Yun? However, Lin Yi understood immediately. Yu Zio must have been besieged by these people. In a desperate situation, she wanted him to help, but was afraid that he would not help. So she first confirmed her identity and then transferred the conflict to herself. It seems that this female thief is not stupid. Lin Yi's impression of Yu Zio is not good, but it is not bad either. At least Yu Zio is pretty and attractive, which is what makes Lin Yi more pleasing to the eye. So when Yu Zio encountered trouble, Lin Yi had an attitude of whether to help or not. It all depends on Lin Yi's mood. Are you Yu Zio's man? Brother Blackbird looked up and down at Lin Yi with a bird's eye, as if he didn't take him seriously at all. Lin Yi ignored Blackbird and walked towards Yu Zio, frowning as he walked. Didn't I tell you to go home and train for a few more years before coming out? So, you got caught stealing, didn't you? Lin Yi thought Yu Zio was being targeted because she'd stolen from Blackbird. His guess was both right and wrong. Yu Zio had indeed stolen from these thieves, but it was just a case of thieves robbing each other. Although Blackbird hated Yu Zio, if that were all he did, he'd just catch her and extort money, not have the urge to have sex with her. The reality was that Blackbird's balls had been shattered by Yu Zio's kick, and he was tempted to make Yu Zio his own. He felt that if he didn't have sex with her, how could he justify his exploding balls? I'm talking to you, didn't you fucking hear me? Did I tell you to come over? Blackbird reached out to stop Lin Yi, but failed. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yi was somehow at Yu Zio's side. No. They're all thieves, help me chase them away, Yu Zio whispered to Lin Yi. Thieves? Aren't you too? Lin Yi asked back. It's different, I'm a good thief, they're bad thieves, Yu Zio was almost crying. Please, can you help me this time? Otherwise I'm going to lose my virginity. Thieves are divided into good and bad. Lin Yi couldn't help but laugh after hearing this. Yu Zio's explanation was quite funny. Besides, what does your losing your virginity have to do with me? Of course thieves are divided into good and bad. I'm a good thief, and they're just doing it for their own selfish desires. I'm different from them, Yu Zio explained. Look, I stole so much money, and I'm just wearing 20 yuan street vendor clothes. Oh, you're such a stingy little bitch, you stole money and still wear 20 yuan clothes. Lin Yi took a look at Yu Zio's clothes. As expected, they were very tattered, even more torn than Tang Yun's clothes. Obviously, she was not lying. Yet, please help me, I can't beat them, Yu Zio said very bluntly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 782 All spent. Did you steal a lot of their money? Lin Yi looked at Brother Blackbird and his men. They really didn't look like good guys. In comparison, Lin Yi was more inclined to Yu Zio. It's not a lot, only a few 100,000, Yu Zio said carefully. Damn, Lin Yi was shocked. A few 100,000 is not a lot? No wonder they want to play with you. Why don't you pay them back? I can't pay it back. How can I pay it back if I have already spent it? Yu Xiaoke said with a sad face. A few 100,000, you spent it all? And you are still wearing such tattered clothes? Lin Yi found it a little unbelievable. I didn't spend it, I gave it to others, Yu Xiaoke said. Can't you help me? I know you are very powerful. Spend it to others? You steal money to spend on others? Are you sick? Lin Yi wanted to help Yu Xiaoke, but after hearing what Yu Xiaoke said, he felt that it would be better to stay away from Yu Xiaoke. You're the one with the problem. I'm supporting the whole orphanage, with hundreds of mouths to feed. How long can I sustain them with hundreds of thousands of dollars? Yu Xiaoke glared at Lin Yi and snorted. Lin Yi was slightly taken aback. He hadn't expected Yu Xiaoke to steal money to support her family. But, supporting hundreds of people alone, that sounded a bit far-fetched. However, the mention of orphanage by Yu Xiaoke stirred Lin Yi's heart. Lin Yi had never seen his parents since childhood, and in a fundamental sense, he was an orphan. If it weren't for the cultivation of his master and the old man, Lin Yi might still be growing up in an orphanage. So, Lin Yi decided to trust Yu Xiaoke for once and said, "How much do you owe me? I'll pay it back for you first. It's not just the money. I even kicked that blackbird guy in the balls," Yu Xiaoke said softly, her face flushing. Huh? Lin Yi's eyes widened. No way, so violent? Kicked someone in the balls? No wonder they wanted to tease you. Anyone would feel uneasy. Lin Yi thought to himself, even if I were a miracle doctor, I wouldn't be able to grow him a new one after all this time if you popped his testicles. Then just let him play with it. I can't do anything, how can that be? Yu Xiaoke's eyes widened. I'm still a virgin, okay? I heard virginity is very valuable. I'm thinking that one day when the children in the orphanage are desperate and can't eat, I'll sell my virginity. Puff. Lin Yi almost choked to death after hearing Yu Xiaoke's words. Yu Xiaoke's idea was truly shocking. However, if Yu Xiaoke really thought so, Lin Yi actually admired her. A girl, could she really make such a big sacrifice for a group of orphans? Lin Yi looked into Yu Xiaoke's eyes. She didn't seem to be lying, which was why Lin Yi believed her for the time being. Okay, can you help me first? I owe you at most. Yu Xiaoke, am also a well-known female hero in the world. Everyone knows that I am the most loyal. When you are in trouble in the future, I will definitely do my best to help you. Yu Xiaoke saw that Lin Yi wanted to help her, and continued quickly. Female hero? Female thief, right. Lin Yi shrugged. I don't seem to have any difficulties. Fuck. You two are whispering and being affectionate over there, as if I don't exist. Brother Blackbird was about to explode. How did this pretty boy who ran out halfway become Yu Xiaoke's husband? However, no matter whether you are Yu Xiaoke's husband or not, now that you are here, don't even think about leaving. The thief gang in Songshan City and Xuanyuan have been at odds for a long time. Since Lin Yi is Yu Xiaoke's husband, he must be a member of Xuanyuan. If we meet today, we will fight together. I'm not treating you as if you don't exist, but whether you exist or not is the same to me. Lin Yi glanced at Brother Blackbird and said, "What's your name?" "Okay, pretty boy, you're very arrogant." Brother Blackbird sneered and looked at Lin Yi, "But I don't know if you can still be arrogant in a while. I wonder if you have heard of my name, Brother Blackbird." Brother Blackbird is the second in command of the Songshan City Thief Group. Naturally, he's a well-known figure. If you are in this line of work, there is no one who doesn't know Brother Blackbird's name. Even those individual thieves have to go to Brother Blackbird to pay their respects before they can commit crimes in Songshan City. No, Lin Yi shook his head honestly. But Brother Blackbird, right? Since you're a thief, and she's a thief, then we're in the same business. Let's just leave it at that. Don't cause trouble for yourself. A thief is a thief. Don't cross the line and do some hooligan stuff. Fuck you, who the hell are you? How dare you teach me a lesson? Brother Blackbird flew into a rage. Pointing at Lin Yi, he shouted to his 4 men, "First, beat this guy into a cripple, and then we'll have fun with Yu Xiaoke." Brother Blackbird. The 4 big men surrounded Lin Yi. Yu Xiaoke was a little nervous. When she saw Lin Yi before, she wanted him to come and save her. It was completely out of instinct. In this deserted alley, Lin Yi became her only lifeline. But now that Lin Yi was here, Yu Xiaoke was a little worried again. After all, Lin Yi was alone, and the other side was 5 burly men. Could Lin Yi handle it? Lin Yi didn't look very strong, but Yu Xiaok was confident that he could handle even one of them. She could handle even one of the larger men single-handedly, which was why she'd followed the thief into this deserted alley. Yu Xiaok figured she could handle even an open robbery. But who could have imagined the situation would take a sudden turn for the worse, with 5 men surrounding her. This left Yu Xiaok desperately needing to rely on Lin Yi. "Can you handle it?" Yu Xiaok asked worriedly. "No, how about you?" Lin Yi smiled and retorted. "Then you should do it. Go for it." Yu Xiaok was relieved to see that Lin Yi wasn't nervous at all. It seemed like Lin Yi had some confidence, otherwise he'd probably be trying to escape. "Kid, be smart. Let your wife play with you, and then you can go." One of the larger men looked down on Lin Yi, feeling he wasn't even a match for a single punch. "That's right. You look so refined. You could be a thief, but not a fighter, right? Don't get yourself disfigured, or it'll be inconvenient for you to commit crimes in the future," another burly man said mockingly. "Why don't you let them play with your wife?" Lin Yi didn't ask the burly man to let him play with his wife, because Lin Yi found her disgusting and wouldn't even bother playing with her. Chapter 783, Iron Armor Skill. Damn it. This kid is still stubborn even when he's about to die. I beat him so hard that his mother can't recognize him. The big man who had said that Lin Yi should give up his wife seemed to have been greatly insulted. He glared and swung his fist and hit Lin Yi. Bang! The big man punched Lin Yi. The punch was very strong. The big man was very proud of himself. This kid was a fool. He didn't even know how to dodge. He didn't expect that he would be hit by one blow. He was too lucky, right? The big man imagined the scene of Lin Yi flying backwards, which was very refreshing. However, the next moment, he felt something was wrong, because he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his fist. Ah! The big man screamed and retracted his fist. His fist had changed shape at this moment. It could no longer be called a fist. It had completely turned into a meat pie. Obviously, it was broken. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I accidentally broke the hands you rely on for survival." Lin Yi looked at the man with the broken hand with regret, touched the place where he had hid him, and said, "It seems that this protective armor is not bad, it's quite useful." The man with the broken hand, who was rolling on the ground in pain, was stunned when he heard Lin Yi's words, and then he felt a little complained. Why did this guy wear protective armor when he went out? If he had known, why would he hit him? He hit him directly in the head. What bad luck. But there was no use in being unlucky. There is no medicine for regret in the world. He could only face the fact that his hand was broken. The other 3 men who had not taken action, when they saw the man on the ground suddenly break his hand, thought Lin Yi had practiced some magical skills to protect himself. They were a little afraid to move. At this time, after hearing Lin Yi's words, it suddenly dawned on them. So this kid had a treasure to protect him. There was no problem then. It wasn't this kid who is resistant to blows, but the protective armor on his body. So, couldn't he just hit him directly on the head? Blackbird was also frightened by Lin Yi. He didn't know what to do, but suddenly heard that Lin Yi had a treasure on him. He was overjoyed. "Come on, grab the protective armor on this kid." Blackbird couldn't help but start to look forward to it. If this protective armor belonged to him, he would wear it every time he went out. He would no longer be afraid of being caught stealing and getting beaten. Whoever dared to beat him would pay the price in blood. Look at his big man subordinate on the ground. His hand is broken, right? Blackbird hated himself for not meeting Lin Yi earlier. If he had met Lin Yi earlier and snatched such a treasure earlier, he wouldn't have been kicked into a state of being alone by Yu Xiaok. In that case, it would be Yu Xiaok who kicked his leg. What a bad time. Blackbird felt a little regretful, but it was not too late now. At least with his protective armor, he could protect his only remaining testicle from being attacked. The 3 burly men had already intended to attack Lin Yi, and upon hearing Blackbird's order, their eagerness to achieve merit in the fight intensified. They swung their fists at Lin Yi's head. Bang, 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 3 muffled thuds followed, and the 3 men simultaneously struck Lin Yi in the head. In their opinion, even if Lin Yi wasn't knocked unconscious, he would at least have suffered a concussion. However, their joy was premature. Before they could react, excruciating pain shot through their fists. "Ah, my hand, it hurts so much? How could his head be so hard? Mine is broken too. How is that possible?" The 3 men's hands simultaneously became twisted beyond recognition, a truly horrific sight. The three grown men rolled on the ground in agony, a truly humiliating sight. You have armored head armor too. Blackbird was also stunned by the sight, staring in disbelief at his four previously vigorous men, now crippled. Yes, Lin Yi nodded. How is that possible? Why didn't I see it? Blackbird was stunned. Yu Xiaoke was also very surprised. It was fine if Lin Yi said he had some protective armor on his body, but how could there be armor on his head? Besides, Yu Xiaoke had been a little skeptical about Lin Yi's words from the beginning. She was very close to Lin Yi and could clearly see that Lin Yi was wearing no other clothes except a shirt. How could there be any protective armor? The fists of the four people underground did not look like they had hit anything hard. Even if a person's fist hit the iron sheet, at most the fist would be swollen or the joint would be broken, and it would not become like this. Judging from the current condition of these people's fists, it looked like they had been forcibly destroyed and compressed by some external force. A person's hand was completely deformed, as if it had been blown up by an explosion. So Yu Xiaoke was very skeptical about whether the protective armor Lin Yi mentioned actually existed. Of course you can't see it, Lin Yi said calmly, because this is the kung fu I practice. It's called the protective iron armor kung fu. Huh? Are you fucking kidding me? Brother Blackbird was furious after hearing Lin Yi's words, feeling as if he had been fooled by Lin Yi. He had always thought Lin Yi had some precious treasure on him, but he didn't know that Lin Yi didn't have any, and was practicing some kind of protective iron armor kung fu. I'm not kidding you, I told you before, this is protective iron armor, Lin Yi said innocently. But you didn't say it was the protective iron armor kung fu. Brother Blackbird gritted his teeth in anger. Today was a huge humiliation. He had wanted to teach Yu Xiaoke a lesson, but he didn't expect Yu Xiaoke's boyfriend to show up and not only knock down his four men, but he himself seemed to be fine. This is the abbreviation. I thought you knew it, but I didn't know you were so stupid. Lin Yi looked at Brother Blackbird mockingly. Kid, don't think you can get away with anything just because you've practiced some hardcore kicking. Do you know who I am? Blackbird brother was a bit timid, having never expected Lin Yi to be so eccentric. I know. Didn't you say your name was Blackbird brother? Did you change your name again? Lin Yi looked at Blackbird brother curiously. Wasn't this guy like Chen Yushu, who liked to change his name for fun? Chen Yushu's name change was cute, but this guy was just stupid. I, Blackbird brother, am the second in command of the Songshan city thief gang. Now you've hurt one of my men. How are we going to settle this? Blackbird brother was no fool. Force was no longer effective. His four men were already ineffective, leaving him alone. If he continued to fight Lin Yi, wouldn't that be humiliating? Besides, this kid was eccentric. He wasn't afraid of a fight at all. His armored armor was so powerful, wouldn't hitting him be like hitting a wall? Would that be asking for trouble? Chapter 784 We also call for help. Oh? You said you are the second in command of the thief gang in Songshan City. Lin Yi was stunned when he heard the name of Brother Blackbird. He felt a little funny in his heart. Little silly girl, why are you always so lucky? It seems that your good luck has exploded since you met me, and whatever you look for will come true. Before, Song Lingshan called Lin Yi and asked Lin Yi to help keep an eye on the thief gang in Songshan City. Lin Yi just responded casually and had no intention of helping Song Lingshan to find it. Lin Yi has enough things to do every day, so how can he have time to help Song Lingshan find a thief gang? Isn't that idle? However, what Lin Yi didn't expect was that after just one day, the second in command of the thief gang in Songshan City came to his door. The second in command has come out. How can the big boss be lured out as well? Lin Yi thought, since he had met her, he might as well help Song Lingshan solve the problem. It was just a piece of cake anyway. This little girl Song had been quite obedient recently, so Lin Yi decided to give her a little benefit. So, are you scared? Seeing Lin Yi's expression, Brother Blackbird thought that Lin Yi was afraid of him, and suddenly he was very proud. Let me tell you, although our gang of thieves is not as ruthless as the underworld, it is also someone you, a disciple of Fian sect, cannot afford to offend. Li Chihua, Brother Chihu knows you, right? I know. Lin Yi nodded, thinking to himself, Li Chihu still owes me 300,000 yuan in car compensation. How could I not know him? Our gang of thieves is protected by Brother Chihua, so you know what to do, right? Brother Blackbird saw that Lin Yi knew Li Chihua, so he didn't have to explain himself. This made it easier. Since you know Li Chihua, do you dare to offend us? How to do it? They were the ones who beat me, and it seems like I didn't do anything. Lin Yi shrugged and said innocently. Damn, Brother Blackbird was stunned. After thinking about it carefully, it was indeed the case. Lin Yi stood there, motionless, and it was his own men who went up to beat him. In this way, it wasn't Lin Yi who beat anyone, but his own men who were careless in beating people and got injured. Who asked you to practice that protective armor? After mentioning Li Chihua's reputation, Brother Blackbird also became much tougher. He didn't think that Lin Yi would dare to do anything to him after hearing Brother Chihua's reputation. Now I'll give you two choices. One is to apologize to us, set up a table for the first drink, and then compensate my brothers for 1 or 200,000 in medical expenses, and let's just forget about it. I don't have money, and it's not my fault. My body is like this. Who told them not to attack me with weapons like a knife, but with fists? After listening to Brother Blackbird's words carefully, Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said, then, what is the second option, huh? Brother Blackbird was stunned after hearing Lin Yi's words. What a fool. How could he reveal his weakness? So he was afraid of weapons and knives. Okay, I didn't know what to threaten you with as a second option, but now I have one. The second option is that I can just make a phone call and summon a bunch of our gang of thieves armed with knives. They won't be able to kill you then. No matter what kind of armored self-defense skills you've mastered, you'll be doomed, Brother Blackbird threatened. Xuanyuan was a little stunned. Would Lin Yi reveal his weakness? Tell Brother Blackbird his weakness? Xuanyuan didn't quite believe it. In her opinion, Lin Yi was a very smart man. She had even been fooled by him several times. How could Lin Yi tell Brother Blackbird his weakness? Moreover, in Xuanyuan's opinion, Lin Yi's so-called armored self-defense skills were complete nonsense. In other words, Brother Blackbird had fallen into the trap set by Lin Yi from the beginning, mistakenly believing that Lin Yi had actually used his body's rebound to cause the injuries inflicted by the four men. In fact, Xuanyuan believed that this was not the truth. Although she didn't know how Lin Yi did it, Xuanyuan felt that Lin Yi must have done some subtle tricks. I'm so scared. Lin Yi pretended to be very scared, but, I really have no money, what should I do? As he said, Lin Yi turned his head and looked at Xuanyuan. Wife, how much money is left in our family's treasury? Where's the money? It's all spent. Xuanyuan didn't expect Lin Yi to say this suddenly, but after a little daze, Xuanyuan cooperated and said that she also wanted to see what tricks Lin Yi was playing. However, it was obvious that this Blackbird brother was going to be in trouble. Based on Xuanyuan's understanding of Lin Yi was a person who was unwilling to suffer losses. Last time she stole his wallet, he took her wallet away with interest. And this Blackbird brother provoked Lin Yi so much, how could Lin Yi let him go easily? Look, my wife said, there's no money, Lin Yi said helplessly looking at Blackbird brother. Fuck. I think you two, a pair of Mandarin ducks in distress, won't cry until you see the coffin. Brother Blackbird naturally didn't believe what Xuanyuan said. Xuanyuan has taken away more than 100,000 yuan by robbing other gangs over the years. Adding that to what she stole herself, the total is probably more than 1 million. Now that Brother Blackbird has caught these two people, how could he let them go so easily? Xuanyuan is very good at Kingguang. If he lets her go this time, who knows when he can catch her next time? Besides, this Lin Yi is also very weird. He has practiced some kind of self-defense armor skill. If he lets him go this time, it will be difficult to catch him next time. No, Brother Blackbird, you see, we really don't have money. Lin Yi spread his hands. If we had money, we wouldn't go out to steal money, right, wife? Yes, yes. We steal money because we are short of money. Who would be a thief if they have money? Who would want to do such a bad job? Xuanyuan nodded and said. Fuck. You said I'm bad, didn't you? Brother Blackbird was immediately furious. Okay, you guys have guts? If you have guts, don't leave, stand here and wait, I won't kill you. As he said that, Brother Blackbird took out his mobile phone, dialed a number, and then said, Brother Zholu, I'm the second Brother Blackbird. I met Xuanyuan and her man from Feynman in Lao Tao Lane. Her man is a bit tricky. I need support. 10 men with knives come and chop people. After Brother Blackbird finished the call, he looked at Lin Yi viciously. Are you scared now? I'm not kidding. Let me tell you, don't even think about running away. Songshan City is Brother Chihua's territory. You can't run away even if you want to. If you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about making a living in Songshan City in the future. Oh. You called for help? That's great. We at Xuanyuan sect have people too. Lin Yi watched Blackbird finish his call. Far from backing off, he said, the feud between you and Xuanyuan sect hasn't been going on for a day or two. Today's a great day to settle it all together. Let's see who can call the most people. Chapter 785, Headmaster Sister Songlingshan. What do you mean? Blackbird was stunned by Lin Yi's words. You'll know what I mean soon, Lin Yi said, pulling out his phone and calling Songlingshan. Songlingshan was currently at the police station, gathering final evidence against the kidney harvesting ring. With the testimonies of 2 victims, Zhong Pinliang and Xuanyuan, the case was essentially closed. Songlingshan's phone rang. She pulled it out and saw Lin Yi's name on the caller ID. Her heart skipped a beat and she quickly answered, "Good man, why did you think of calling me?" Songlingshan was alone in her office, with no one around, so she spoke freely. "Senior Sister Song, I'm in Lao Tao Lane, being besieged by members of a Songshan city thief gang. A second-in-command named Blackbird is threatening to have me hacked to death," Lin Yi began bluntly. "What? You found the thieves? And their second-in-command?" Songlingshan's blood boiled at Lin Yi's words. She really wanted to rush over and kiss Lin Yi. His speed in solving the case was incredible. She had just told him about the thief gang yesterday, and he had already helped her solve it today? Lin Yi was such a good man, so kind to her. It seemed that Lin Yi really liked her, this silly little girl, otherwise how could he help her so much? Songlingshan couldn't help herself. As for Lin Yi's earlier address as Senior Sister Song, Songlingshan was a little confused. How did she become Senior Sister Song? We at Xuanyuan sect have had a grudge against them for a long time. Senior Sister, you have to send some people to help us. We're going all out today and having a big fight with this gang of thieves. Lin Yi didn't answer Songlingshan, but continued, bring more people with you, or we'll be at a disadvantage. Okay, I'll take them right away. Songlingshan wasn't stupid either. Although Lin Yi's words were a bit confusing, Songlingshan understood what he meant. He meant for her to bring a large police force. Master Sister, you're here in person. That's great. I'll be waiting for you here, Lin Yi said, and without waiting for Songlingshan to say anything else, he hung up the phone. Then, pointing at Blackbird, he said, who doesn't know how to find someone? Our Master Sister said that since Xuanyuan sect and your gang of thieves have been feuding for a long time, we'll have a showdown here today. Uzia Oak, standing by, widened her eyes. Who is Lin Yi calling? Master Sister? There was no such thing as a Master Sister in Xuanyuan sect. This branch of Xuanyuan sect was passed down to me as a single disciple, and I was the only one. Besides, Lin Yi wasn't even from Xuanyuan sect, yet he was pretending to be one. However, although Uzia Oak was puzzled, she didn't say anything. Instead, she decided to wait and see. Lin Yi must have his reasons for doing this. Uzia Oak had a hunch that Blackbird was about to get into big trouble. Fuck, I told you guys you're fat and you're still panting. Hearing that Lin Yi had even summoned the Xuanyuan sect's head sister, Brother Blackbird was instantly enraged. You called for help, didn't I? Since you Xuanyuan sect members are so reckless, today our gang of thieves will just wipe you out. As the saying goes, competitors breed enemies, and this was especially true for a sect like the Xuanyuan sect, which frequently engaged in thieves' crimes. The thieves hated it deeply. Of course, they only knew Uzia Oak was a Xuanyuan sect member, but they didn't understand the sect's structure. Where Uzia Oak lived, or what her true identity was. Otherwise, Uzia Oak wouldn't be safe in the orphanage. In Brother Blackbird's opinion, there was definitely more than just Uzia Oak in the Xuanyuan sect. She was just a more prominent member. Lin Yi had never met this person before, but he believed that Lin Yi had certainly been involved in numerous thieves' crimes, just in a more secretive way. Blackbird had already pinned all the gang's failures on Lin Yi. He felt that it must be the Xuanyuan sect that caused this, so his hatred for the Xuanyuan sect had reached a certain level. Brother Blackbird called the big boss, Brother Jiulu, again and said, Brother Jiulu, the Xuanyuan sect is also calling people, ready to have a fight with us. Their leader has already been dispatched. What should we do? What? The Xuanyuan sect is also calling people? Their leader is here too? Brother Jiulu was stunned, then overjoyed. Since they are looking for death, don't blame us. I originally wanted to send only 10 people. This time I will bring all the thieves gang over and knock them down. Okay, Brother Jiulu, then I'll wait for you. When Brother Blackbird heard that Brother Jiulu had dispatched all his forces, he immediately felt confident. His own thieves' gang had 40 or 50 people. If they all came, why didn't they kill the Fian sect? How many people could the Fian sect have? 10 or 8 at most. Brother He didn't take them seriously at all. In his opinion, if Fianmen had more people and more power, they wouldn't have been in such a bad situation in Songshan City, and Yu Xiaok wouldn't have been so insecure. After hanging up the phone, Brother Blackbird pointed at Lin Yi and said, "Boy, what if the leader of your Fianmen is here? Our big boss, Brother Zhulu, has brought all the people from our thieves' gang. Let's see if we don't overthrow you." "Ah, no way. Your big boss is here too," Lin Yi shouted in surprise, but thought to himself, "I was afraid you wouldn't come." The reason why Lin Yi staged such a drama was to let Brother Blackbird call all the members of their thieves' gang over, and then let Song Lingshan catch them all in one fell swoop. Otherwise, with Lin Yi's skills, it would be easy to capture Brother Blackbird, but after capturing him, it would be difficult to completely wipe out the thieves' gang. After Brother Blackbird was arrested, the thieves' gang would definitely be alert, and it would be basically impossible to catch them all in one fell swoop. However, Lin Yi cleverly took advantage of the feud between Fianmen and the thieves' gang and lured all the members of the thieves' gang here. It is estimated that Brother Blackbird would never have thought that the person Lin Yi called before was not Fianmen at all, but the criminal police captain Song Lingshan. In fact, Brother Blackbird had never thought about this at all. He had already regarded Lin Yi as a member of Yu Xiaok's gang, so how could he be related to the police? It was completely a fantasy. And Brother Zhulu usually would not show up in person. After all, he had to be wary of police raids. However, the thieves' gang in Songshan City and Fianmen have always had a long-standing feud, and Brother Zhulu had long wanted to kill the people from Fianmen. Today, Brother Blackbird designed to lure Yu Xiaok out and prepared to teach her a lesson. Brother Zhulu also knew about it, so he didn't suspect too much at all. He subconsciously thought that Yu Xiaok was calling someone to fight him to the death. Chapter 786 Yu Xiaok's True Side. Even the head sister of their Fian sect had come out, so how could Zhulu, the head of the thieves' gang, not show up in person? So what? Are you scared now? Your little Fian sect is no match for our thieves' gang. Seeing Lin Yi's frightened expression, Blackbird was immediately pleased. You better think about what to do later. Our head sister is here, and it won't be easy to deal with us with just 1,000,000 or 800,000. Oh, Lin Yi sighed in distress and called Song Lingshan again. Good man, what's up? I'm on my way. Song Lingshan saw Lin Yi calling again and quickly answered. She was driving the cheetah alone, and there was no one else in the car. Head sister, this is bad. Zhulu, the head of the thieves' gang, has come out with all his men, ready to kill us. What should we do? You need to bring more people, Lin Yi said pitifully. Don't worry, I've brought all the people from my squadron who don't have any missions, and the people from the public security brigade will also come to cooperate with our operation, Song Lingshan said. Ah, no way, Master Sister, there are only more than 10 of us? How can we be their opponent? Lin Yi continued with a bitter face and said, you must find a way to find some more helpers, otherwise we will be finished. Song Lingshan couldn't help but want to laugh. Lin Yi also has a silly side? Although Song Lingshan knew that Lin Yi was pretending and teasing the other party, Song Lingshan just thought it was very funny. Okay, I'll try to find more people. Song Lingshan couldn't help laughing. Lin Yi hung up the phone and said to Yu Xiaok with a bitter face, honey, this is bad. The headmaster can only find a dozen or so people at most. What are we going to do? Haha. Don't worry, you should just figure out how to compensate us later. Blackbird, seeing Lin Yi's helpless expression, burst into laughter. You're killing me. You're still looking for help? We don't have enough people on our own, and you're still looking for outside help. It's too late now. Yeah, what can we do? Lin Yi sighed. Don't worry, maybe the headmaster has a solution. Yu Xiaok knew Lin Yi was acting. If Lin Yi really couldn't find anyone, would he just stand there like an idiot, waiting for Blackbird's men to chop him down? It was obvious that Lin Yi had a solution, otherwise, it would be easy for him to defeat Blackbird alone and escape. That's the only way, Lin Yi nodded. It has to be said that the efficiency of the thieves' gang is still very high, or rather, their headquarters is not far from here. After a while, a black mass of people holding knives and iron bars rushed over from the front and back of Lao Tao Lane, surrounding Lin Yi and Yu Xiaok in the middle. Brother Blackbird was overjoyed to see his own people coming. Seeing Brother Zhulu also coming, he hurried over and said, Brother Zhulu, it's them. One is Xuanyuan, and the other is her man. Oh? What's going on with those four brothers on the ground? Brother Zhulu glanced at the four men wailing on the ground and frowned. That kid practiced a martial art called iron armor kung fu. The brothers greeted him with fists, but he ended up like this, Brother Blackbird explained quickly. So powerful, Brother Zhulu was stunned. He didn't expect there was such a martial art. Wouldn't it be unlucky for whoever hit him? Yes, he's quite formidable indeed. But he accidentally let it slip that he's not afraid of being hit. But he's afraid of being stabbed by a knife, Brother Blackbird said with some pride. I think he's not afraid of hard blows, but he's afraid of being cut by sharp objects. Yeah, that makes sense, Brother Zhulu nodded. While the two were talking, Xuanyuan had a moment's leisure and whispered to Lin Yi, Hey, did you call anyone? They've got so many people here, is it okay, if not, just run away? Lin Yi smiled. I'm not kidding, I can't die. If I die, the children in the orphanage will be left alone and starve to death. Pengzhan was a little anxious. Are you really stealing money for the orphanage's children? Lin Yi glanced at Xuanyuan. From the outside, she didn't seem like someone who would spend a lot of money. With her daily income, she probably wouldn't dress like that. Of course, you want to donate to me? I'll take it, Xuanyuan said. You can change the way you make money. It's not good to steal money all the time. Lin Yi couldn't say that he had a good impression of the profession of thief, but he didn't hate it either. After all, his uncle was also a master thief. It was just that Lin Yi felt that Xuanyuan's skills were too poor. If she came out to steal money at this level, she would fall sooner or later. What kind of business can make money so quickly? Xuanyuan rolled her eyes. Hundreds of people have to eat every day. Do you know how expensive things are now? Have you ever bought food and firewood? Even if the food budget is 10 yuan per person per day, it will cost more than 1,000 yuan. Add to that the purchase of study materials, injections and medicine for the children when they are sick, buy them clothes, sheets, cups and daily necessities, and pay for water, electricity, broadband, gas and cable TV. How can it be possible without 50,000 yuan a month? How can I, a girl, make 50,000 yuan? If I sell it, it will be valuable at first, but I may not make that much in the future. You really don't know how hard other people work. Lin Yi didn't expect that his words would cause Xuanyuan to complain so much, but he thought, these words have been accumulated in his heart for a long time, right? It's just that there is no one to talk to normally. Now that there is finally someone to talk to, he poured out everything. But in this way, Xuanyuan is indeed very hard working. Earning 50,000 yuan a month, there is really no industry that can have such a high income. Xuanyuan didn't have any special skills, so it's no wonder that she had to resort to stealing. Doesn't the orphanage have any donations from others? Lin Yi asked. Yes, but 3,000 or 5,000, what can it do? Xuanyuan shook her head and sighed. Oh, Lin Yi felt a little emotional. If what Xuanyuan said was all true, then Lin Yi really admired this girl. She supported an orphanage by herself. No matter what industry she was in to make money, it was great. By the way, you mentioned the self-defense iron armor skill before. Is there really such a skill? Can you teach it to me? Xuanyuan thought of the way Lin Yi dealt with the four big men just now, and suddenly felt a little envious. Do you think it's possible? The golden bell cover doesn't have this effect. Lin Yi shook his head. He just made up a name before, but in fact, it was not the case at all. Chapter 787, Taking the Blame. Lin Yi had become somewhat addicted to studying the energy within his body these past few days. The blows to the men's hands were naturally the result of a sudden explosion of energy that destroyed their internal bones and meridians, completely unrelated to where they struck him. The moment they struck him, Lin Yi activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, to compress the energy within his body, then injected it into the men's fists. The effect was immediate, instantly destroying their fists. Of course, Lin Yi was conducting this experiment, compressing only a tiny amount of energy. Otherwise, not just a fist, but entire arms or even their bodies could have exploded. These men were ordinary people with no prior training and couldn't withstand the damage of this sudden release of energy. Oh, then, can you teach me? Xuanyuan envied him. If she could learn Lin Yi's skills, she wouldn't have to live in constant fear. No, Lin Yi shook his head. Tisk, how stingy? Xuanyuan pouted like a child. You know Qinggong, so you've probably heard of yellow rank masters, Lin Yi asked. looking at Yu Ziaok. Of course I've heard of it. My master was a yellow rank master when he was young, but he was injured by an enemy. Yu Ziaok suddenly realized she'd let something slip. She'd said too much? How could she share these secrets with someone she'd only just met? What if he was her master's enemy? She quickly stopped talking and looked at Lin Yi warily. How? Then wait until you become a yellow rank master, then come and learn. You might be able to learn then, Lin Yi said with a smile. Lin Yi naturally didn't care much about Yu Ziaok's background, but Yu Ziaok was being suspicious. No way? You're a yellow rank master? Yu Ziaok was stunned, suddenly looking at Lin Yi with some surprise. No, Lin Yi shook his head. Tisk, I told you. Yu Ziaok was disappointed. How can you just run into yellow rank master? Hey, when is your head sister arriving? Our headmaster, Brother Julu, is already here. Brother Blackbird was now brimming with confidence. With Brother Julu backing him up, he wasn't afraid of anything Lin Yi or Yu Ziaok might dare to do. It's coming soon, Lin Yi said carefully. Why are there so many of you? Are you all here? Nonsense, you Fianmen want to fight to the death, so of course we give you face and bring all the people here. Brother Blackbird laughed. You are not scared, are you? Of course not. Lin Yi suddenly smiled. Our people are here. Here? Where? Brother Julu was stunned, and then his face suddenly became a little ugly. Suddenly, the shrill sound of sirens sounded at the same time at both ends of the alley, and countless policemen surrounded them from both sides of the alley at the same time. Listen, people inside, you have been surrounded. Put down your weapons and surrender to reduce your charges. As the police rushed over, a loudspeaker began to shout. Oh my god. What's going on? Julu glared at He Niao and asked, why are the police here? I don't know. How would the police know that? He Niao paused and glared at Lin Yi. It was you. You called the police. Oh, you're not stupid, are you? Lin Yi couldn't help but laugh at He Niao's exasperated expression. But it's too late now. There's no point trying to figure it out. Damn it. Julu, this guy called the police. If we get caught, he'll be the scapegoat? He Niao was furious. He had never expected Lin Yi to pull such a trick, calling the police. He had originally thought Lin Yi was really looking for the Fian sect members to fight to the death, but he had no idea that was the case at all. Brothers, go ahead, kill him, Julu ordered his men. But at this moment, how could these thieves dare to attack Lin Yi? Surrounded by police from front and back, escaping was impossible. Sooner or later, they would be recaptured. Would attacking someone with a knife at this point only exacerbate their crimes? Who would do such a foolish thing? So, after Julu's orders were issued, his men looked at each other in bewilderment, none willing to attack Lin Yi and Yu Ziaok first. Did you hear me? Kill them, Julu frantically declared. Whoever kills them will receive a reward of 100,000 yuan each. As the saying goes, a big reward begets a brave man. Julu figured, if he didn't offer some kind of reward, who would take action? So, instead of offering a 100,000 yuan reward, he simply offered 100,000 yuan. Of course, if he had offered a 100,000 yuan reward under normal circumstances, these men would have been eager to follow his orders and attack. But now, with the police about to arrest them, Julu and Blackbird were bound to face the same fate. Where would they even get 100,000 yuan? So forget about whether you can get the 100,000 yuan. Even if you can get it, you will have the life to spend it. Killing someone is a much more serious crime than theft. What's the use of asking for money if you go to jail? So, forget about the 100,000 yuan. Even if Julu offered a whopping price of 1 million yuan, no one would be so stupid as to kill someone. There are police officers in front and behind this alley. No one can escape. Julu obviously saw this. He snatched the knife from one of his men and prepared to kill Lin Yi and Yu Ziaok himself. Others are afraid of aggravating the charges, but Julu is not. Julu is the leader of a thief gang. The stolen money and goods that have passed through his hands are worth over 100 million yuan. He has also committed several home robberies. He knows very well that once he goes to the police station, he will die. He will definitely not get out. So he is not afraid anymore. He wants to take someone with him before he dies. So he directly picks up the knife and kills Lin Yi. You little bastard, I'll teach you a lesson. Even if I go to jail today, I won't let you off easy. Brother Julu was a ruthless character, otherwise he wouldn't have so many lives on his hands. He swung his knife directly at Lin Yi's head. No matter how strong your armor is, it's useless. No matter how skilled your martial arts are, you're still afraid of a knife. Have you heard of that? I have. Lin Yi nodded, then raised his leg and kicked. Brother Zhulu suddenly flew out like a kite with a broken string, directly in the direction of Lin Yi's kick, knocking over the minions behind him. He showed no sign of stopping, smashing back until he hit the last minion in the row, then fell heavily. However, as luck would have it, he landed on the knife in the hands of the last minion. Brother Zhulu cried out and fainted. Chapter 788. Let's talk quietly. It must be said that Lin Yi's control of force was incredibly precise. If he had used a little more force, Zhulu would have crashed into the police officer behind him. With a little less force, he wouldn't have landed on the knife. Lin Yi's kick stunned Zhulu's subordinates, including Blackbird, who stared at Lin Yi in shock. Did you just practice some kind of armored self-defense technique? How are you still so powerful? Blackbird asked, gazing at Lin Yi in disbelief. If Lin Yi had given him a kick like that before Zhulu arrived, wouldn't he have been killed? Blackbird knew that Zhulu used to practice taekwondo and had excellent physique. If he could still be kicked dozens of meters by Lin Yi, how could he possibly withstand it? It seemed like Lin Yi had been feigning fear, or simply wasn't afraid at all. Lin Yi's motive for doing this was clearly to bring everyone in the thief gang to the police. Thinking of this, Brother Blackbird understood everything. He had been fooled by Lin Yi. And he had been fooled around. However, although he was very angry, he did not dare to go against Lin Yi at all. He was afraid that Lin Yi would kick him, and then he would just die. Especially when he saw Brother Zhulu finally sitting on the knife, Brother Blackbird was really scared. He didn't know if Brother Zhulu was dead or not. Brother Blackbird knew very well that the reason why Brother Zhulu dared to fight Lin Yi and wanted to drag Lin Yi down with him was because Brother Zhulu would definitely not be able to get out after entering the police station, but he was not like that. Although he was the second in command of the thief gang, he was not the main culprit, and he had never killed anyone. He had only raped a few women, and his crime was not punishable by death. When did I say that I only practiced a body armor kung fu? Lin Yi asked back. This, Brother Blackbird was stunned. Thinking carefully about what Lin Yi had said before, it seemed that Lin Yi had never said that he only practiced a body armor kung fu. He had assumed everything, assuming Lin Yi was just trained in armored martial arts and wasn't afraid of a beating. Little did he know Lin Yi was just as skilled in fighting. Blackbird sighed, accepting his fate. He sneered at Lin Yi and used oak, thinking, when the police come, I'll report you. We're in jail, and you won't get away with it. With the police present, I doubt you'll dare do anything to me. That kick you gave me was pretty powerful, wasn't it? Uzziah Oak looked at Lin Yi in surprise. What happened to Zhulu? Maybe his butt was cut off, or maybe both his balls. Lin Yi shrugged. Blackbird shuddered as he listened. So cruel. He still had one ball, but Zhulu had lost both. Uzziah Oak, upon hearing Lin Yi's words, covered her mouth with her hands and chuckled. Serves them right. Faced with the armed police, these thieves surrendered without resistance. They were all thieves, not gang members. Most of them had only committed theft and would be released after a few years in prison. Why resist? Song Lingshan hadn't expected the entire gang to actually be here. Wasn't Lin Yi too impressive? He'd tricked all these people into coming here, waiting for him to arrest them? Looking at the police cars she'd brought, packed with members of the gang, Song Lingshan felt an indescribable sense of pride and excitement. Throughout the history of the Songshan City Police Department, had anyone ever apprehended so many thieves at once? It was practically a whole gang. Just as Song Lingshan was lost in thought, a figure flew in front of them. With a scream, they collapsed, their buttocks covered in blood. Captain Song, isn't this the wanted criminal nicknamed Zhulu, the leader of the gang? Liu Wangli immediately recognized the figure as Zhulu, a wanted criminal, but he was hiding so well that the police had never found him. Is it really Zhulu? Although Song Lingshan had heard Lin Yi say that the gang's leader would also be there, it felt different when they actually caught him. Yes, Liu Wangli truly admired his superior immensely. His efficiency in solving cases was unparalleled. Even when Yang Huaijin was the team leader, he couldn't solve cases this quickly. Song Lingshan simply solved the case as soon as she saw it. Previously, Liu Wangli had thought that the thief gang case would be a real headache. Catching one or two thieves was easy, but completely destroying the entire gang was not easy, because it wouldn't be achieved in a day or two. But now, in just one day, Song Lingshan had actually led the entire criminal police team to arrest them. And the entire gang of thieves seemed to be lined up here, waiting to be arrested. From the leader to the ordinary members, everyone was involved, and no one could escape. You watch here for a while, I'll go over. Song Lingshan saw Lin Yi along the straight line of space left by Zhilu. As Lin Yi's silly little girl, Song Lingshan received the benefits from Lin Yi, so she had to thank Lin Yi as soon as possible. Song Lingshan knew very well that no matter how favored she was, there was a limit. If she really made Lin Yi unhappy, then everything would be gone. Liu Wangli saw the direction Song Lingshan was walking, and also saw Lin Yi, and couldn't help but be slightly stunned. Lin Yi, why is he here? Suddenly, Liu Wangli remembered that when the bank robbery was solved for the first time, Lin Yi also appeared at the scene with Song Lingshan. He seemed to guess something. Could it be that Lin Yi had contributed to this? Thinking about it, it was really possible. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi appear here by chance? And why was Song Lingshan in such a hurry to see Lin Yi? However, thinking about the rumors, Lin Yi was Song Lingshan's legendary boyfriend, so even if Lin Yi helped, Liu Wangli didn't think there was anything wrong. What's wrong with someone helping his girlfriend solve the case? It's only natural. That's the credit of Song Lingshan's family. No one else can take it away. Thinking of this, Liu Wangli was relieved. These things were not his business. He just had to keep up with Song Lingshan's pace. It didn't matter whether Song Lingshan was more capable or Lin Yi was more capable. Song Lingshan had made a contribution, and it would be beneficial for him to be her subordinate. If he followed Song Lingshan closely, his future would be bright. Lin Yi also saw Song Lingshan walking towards him and smiled at her. You're not slow. Yeah, thank you. Song Lingshan looked around. There were too many people. She couldn't say anything like thank you, silly girl. It was too embarrassing. Or should we talk quietly when there is no one around? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 789 I Want to Report. Oh, nothing. Lin Yi shook his head. I want to report. Officer, I want to report. At this moment, Brother Blackbird suddenly shouted. Report? What do you want to report? Song Lingshan was interrupted and was a little unhappy. When she saw Brother Blackbird, she immediately recognized him as the second in command of the thief gang. Song Lingshan frowned and said, Don't play any tricks. If you have something to say, just tell me, officer, I want to report them. They are actually thieves too. They are from the famous Xuanyuan. Brother Blackbird knew that he would not be able to get out for a while after he went in, so he wanted to drag someone with him when he went in, and the scapegoat was Lin Yi and Yu Xiaok. In his opinion, Lin Yi and Yu Xiaok's identity at the moment should be the informant. Song Lingshan did not regard them as thieves, so Brother Blackbird wanted to expose them. Xuanyuan. Song Lingshan was slightly stunned. She turned her head to look at Lin Yi and suddenly found Yu Xiaok hiding behind Lin Yi. Previously, Song Lingshan had been so focused on Lin Yi that she hadn't noticed Yu Xiaok beside him. But after Blackbird's warning, she immediately realized what was going on. Wasn't this the elusive female thief, Yu Xiaok? When Yu Xiaok saw Song Lingshan approaching, she'd felt a pang of unease and tried to flee, but she was surrounded by members of the thief gang, and behind them, surrounded by police. How could she possibly escape? So, Yu Xiaok hid behind Lin Yi, praying Song Lingshan wouldn't notice her. In reality, Song Lingshan didn't notice her, mistaking her for one of the gang and merely exchanging a few words with Lin Yi. Yu Xiaok was just thinking she was lucky. Who could have imagined that the foul-mouthed Blackbird would actually report her to Song Lingshan? For a moment, Yu Xiaok was so furious that she wanted to kick Blackbird's remaining balls. What a mean fellow. Yes, it's Yu Xiaok from Xuanyuan, that woman. Brother Blackbird saw Song Lingshan's slightly stunned expression and thought that Song Lingshan didn't know who Yu Xiaok was, so he quickly continued to introduce, Xuanyuan is also one of the famous thief gangs. This woman is one of the big thieves active in Xuanyuan. She not only steals other people's money, but also steals from other gangs. She has stolen more than 100,000 from her thieves gang alone. The man next to her is her man, and he is also a core member of Xuanyuan. Officer, don't be fooled by them. Brother Blackbird told the facts of Yu Xiaok's crimes in one breath, because he hated Yu Xiaok so much. He had come to seek revenge on Yu Xiaok before, But now that Yu Xiaok failed to take revenge, he was arrested by the police instead. How could he accept this? So before he was arrested, he would do his best to take revenge on Yu Xiaok. Song Lingshan couldn't help but frown as she listened to Yu Xiaok's words. When did Lin Yi join Xuanyuan and become Yu Xiaok's man? Thinking of this, Song Lingshan couldn't help but feel a little unhappy. Yu Xiaok was so lucky, wasn't she? She actually had a boyfriend like Lin Yi. Why were these women so lucky? She worked so hard, and only in return did Lin Yi not call her a brainless girl, but Yu Xiaok, who probably hadn't known Lin Yi for long, could already get Lin Yi to do things for her? Thinking of this, Song Lingshan suddenly felt extremely unbalanced and glared at Yu Xiaok. Yu Xiaok, you didn't expect you to run away after all? You ended up in my hands. Sister Lingshan, I'm the informant now. Without me, you wouldn't be able to catch so many members of the thief gang, Yu Xiaok said, her eyes searching for possible escape routes. Seeing that Lin Yi actually knew Song Lingshan, Yu Xiaok had no way to rely on Lin Yi anymore. She could only put her hopes on herself, trying to see if she could find a chance to escape. The informant? But this blackbird is also an informant? He is also reporting you. Song Lingshan was not moved at all. Yu Xiaok was a criminal, and she naturally had the obligation to bring him to justice. In fact, Yu Xiaok had been registered with a police station for a long time. Many rich and powerful people came to report that they had been pickpocketed or even beaten by Yu Xiaok. Song Lingshan also attached great importance to these cases and arranged several operations to capture Yu Xiaok. Who would have thought that Yu Xiaok's Qinggong was so good that she escaped several times? Even though he was a yellow-level master, he could not catch up with Yu Xiaok's Qinggong. Her Qinggong seemed to be a unique skill. It was not seen how high her martial arts skills were, but she ran much faster than others. Yu Xiaok's reputation is much more famous than that of any other gang of thieves. The reason is simple. Yu Xiaok specializes in stealing from those who are rich and unkind. These people are often rich and powerful. When something happens, they will naturally report to the police to put pressure on them. Over time, Yu Xiaok has become the focus of the police. When these rich people report the crime, they naturally won't say what they did before to be stolen. They just point their resentment at Yu Xiaok. Song Lingshan doesn't know Yu Xiaok's motive for committing the crime, so she also regards Yu Xiaok as a thief who specializes in stealing from rich people. Well, okay, Sister Lingshan, I admit defeat this time. I'll go with you. Yu Xiaok looked depressed, lowered his head, and slowly walked towards Song Lingshan, as if he was turning himself in. But before he could finish this sentence, Yu Xiaok's footsteps changed. He quickly bypassed Song Lingshan and ran in the direction behind Song Lingshan. Yu Xiaok had already scouted the terrain. Behind Song Lingshan was a path Lin Yi had previously cleared using Big Deer Brother's body. If Yu Xiaok ran along this path, she might be able to escape. After all, the police were busy packing the thieves into the police car, so few would notice Yu Xiaok. By the time they did, she would be completely caught off guard. Where are you going? Song Lingshan sneered and slapped Yu Xiaok on the back. Song Lingshan had dealt with Yu Xiaok several times before, so how could she not know what kind of person he was? Yu Xiaok's words of surrendering were completely incredulous. Yu Xiaok was incredibly shrewd, and at the slightest sign of danger, he would flee frantically. How could he voluntarily surrender? Therefore, Song Lingshan was already on guard. As Yu Xiaok approached, she raised her arm, ready to strike him and then capture him. Only in this way could she ensure that Yu Xiaok could be brought back to the police station safely. Chapter 790, Bad Luck. Of course, Song Lingshan only wanted to capture Yu Xiaok, not kill her. With Song Lingshan's yellow rank master strength, if that palm strike had succeeded, Yu Xiaok would likely have been reborn or traveled through time. Ah! Yu Xiaok screamed, sending her flying backwards and hitting the ground. She spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. Lin Yi, unprepared for Song Lingshan's sudden attack, frowned. Why did you hit her? How could you have caught her if I hadn't hit her? Song Lingshan felt a little uncomfortable hearing Lin Yi speak up for Yu Xiaok. I asked you to catch those thieves, not her. Lin Yi had a good impression of Yu Xiaok. Although they had only known each other for a short time, if Yu Xiaok wasn't lying, then she was worthy of his respect. To support an orphanage on her own, what courage and perseverance did that take? She's a thief too. Song Lingshan looked at Lin Yi with a hint of stubbornness. She had her own principles, and though she always acted submissively in front of him, that wouldn't compromise them. Lin Yi was slightly taken aback by Song Lingshan's expression. Song Lingshan, who is always so docile in his presence, was actually arguing with him over this. But after a moment's reflection, Lin Yi understood Song Lingshan's perspective. She was a soldier, and Yu Xiaok was a thief. Soldiers catching thieves was natural. It was just that she and Yu Xiaok stood on different sides. Yu Xiaok felt that stealing money from the rich and unscrupulous for the orphanage was fine, but Song Lingshan felt that Yu Xiaok was a thief no matter what. Lin Yi nodded and stopped provoking Song Lingshan. Meanwhile, the whistleblower, Blackbird brother, was incredibly proud. Yu Xiaok had been beaten by Song Lingshan, and he let out a long simmering rage. Yu Xiaok, you want to send us to jail? Then I'll send you in first. How is it going now? Not only were you beaten, but you're also being arrested. Lin Yi was about to check on Yu Xiaok's injuries when he passed by Blackbird, seemingly carelessly bumping into him. Blackbird, in his blissful state, didn't notice. But after Lin Yi had passed, Blackbird sensed something was amiss. Why was he suddenly feeling hot all over? A surge of desire welled up within him, and Blackbird's eyes grew hazy. He looked at Song Lingshan with a ferocious expression. He seemed to be trying hard to control his emotions, but it was only a moment of clarity before he went completely wild and lunged at Song Lingshan. Girl, come here. I want you to play with me for once. Song Lingshan looked at Blackbird, his mouth full of yellow teeth and his stinking breath, and felt a wave of nausea. She couldn't understand how audacious Blackbird was. He dared to openly tease her. Did he want to die? Just as Song Lingshan was wondering, Blackbird's hand was about to grab her chest. Furious, Song Lingshan kicked out, striking Blackbird directly in the groin. He yelped and collapsed to the ground, his last words being, "My other ball." This was clearly Lin Yi's doing. He had simply stimulated a few acupuncture points on his body, inducing a desire for intercourse. This technique could also be used for erectile dysfunction and sexual desire loss, but Blackbird, already possessed of a strong desire, was completely overwhelmed by Lin Yi's manipulation. The gang members were also puzzled. Had Blackbird gone mad? How dare he tease Song Lingshan? Wasn't that courting death? But they were all struggling to protect themselves, so how could they care to consider whether Blackbird had lost his mind? They all lowered their heads, refusing to breathe, fearing that Song Lingshan would target them next. However, Song Lingshan obviously had no intention of arguing with them and turned around to look for an ambulance. Liu Wangli had already called an ambulance for Zhilu brother, and now there were two more people, Yu Xiaok and Blackbird. Lin Yi naturally didn't care about Blackbird brother's life or death, but walked towards Yu Xiaok. Crouching down, Lin Yi reached out to check Yu Xiaok's injuries, but saw Yu Xiaok suddenly open his eyes and winked at Lin Yi. Lin Yi was stunned. "You didn't faint? It's okay. I can barely hold on." Yu Xiaok forced a smile and said, "Thank you, for helping me get revenge." Yu Xiaok must have guessed what Lin Yi had done to Blackbird brother before. Otherwise, even if Blackbird brother had 100 courage, he would not dare to tease the female police officer at this time. Does he think his life is not long enough? Oh, it's just a piece of cake. Lin Yi didn't know why, but he felt a little pity for the pitiful Yu Xiaok. Lin Yi is essentially a rather cold person. He treats enemies and strangers with a high degree of indifference. Only with his friends around him will Lin Yi be sincere. As for Yu Xiaok, whom he had just met for the second time, Lin Yi was very moved by her experience. Lin Yi can be said to be an orphan, and Yu Xiaok must be the same, otherwise she would not be busy working for the orphanage. The two of them can be said to have some similarities. Song Lingshan is here. I'm going to faint. Don't expose me. Yu Xiaok blinked, and suddenly her head tilted, and she fainted on the ground again. Since Yu Xiaok said so, Lin Yi couldn't go to rescue her anymore. At this time, Song Lingshan also directed the medical staff to carry the stretcher over here. Lin Yi stood up and dodged to the side. Song Lingshan assisted the paramedics in loading Yu Xiaok and Blackbird onto stretchers and walked toward the ambulance. Meanwhile, most of the thieves had been apprehended. Even those who hadn't dared to move. Armed police officers surrounded them, so even if they tried to escape, they couldn't. Better to wait patiently for the police to handle their situation. Did you run away with them? Song Lingshan asked quietly, noticing Lin Yi had also caught up. Lin Yi glanced at Song Lingshan but offered no explanation. This whole thing was complicated to explain, starting with the beggar they'd met earlier, and he didn't bother to elaborate. Song Lingshan felt a little aggrieved and a little worried. Was Lin Yi blaming her for being nosy? Shouldn't she have asked so many questions? That was true. She needed Lin Yi's help. Almost every case she solved depended on him. What if Lin Yi got annoyed with her if she asked so many questions? Chapter 791 Sister Xiaok. However, Song Lingshan couldn't understand what was so good about Yu Xiaok. Lin Yi was so considerate of a female thief? The moment Yu Xiaok's stretcher was about to be lifted onto the ambulance, Yu Xiaok suddenly jumped off the stretcher and waved to Song Lingshan. Sister Lingshan, it's in vain, I'm leaving. The ambulance was outside the police cordon, so there were not many police officers left next to the ambulance. Even if there were, they were there to assist the medical staff. They never thought that these seriously injured people would be able to get up and run away. Yu Xiaok. Stop right there. Song Lingshan was so angry that her nose was crooked. Yu Xiaok was too cunning. She pretended to faint before, and only escaped from the stretcher when she was no longer on guard against her. At this time, it was obviously too late for her to catch her. Although Yu Xiaok was injured, her Kingguang skills were not exaggerated. Song Lingshan regretted that her previous blow was too gentle, not seriously injuring Yu Xiaok, which gave her an opportunity to take advantage. In fact, Song Lingshan had misunderstood. Yu Xiaok's injuries were actually very serious. Even if she didn't use all her strength, a palm strike from a yellow rank master would not be something that ordinary people could withstand. The reason why Yu Xiaok was able to get up and escape despite being seriously injured was actually because of her inner belief that she must not be caught by Song Lingshan. If she was caught by Song Lingshan, she would go to jail, but what about the children in the orphanage? So Yu Xiaok had to grit her teeth and escape even if it meant death. She was responsible for the food, clothing, shelter and transportation of all the children in the orphanage. Her responsibility and burden were too great, and she could not afford to make the slightest mistake. Sister Lingshan, we will meet again. Although Yu Xiaok's expression was a little painful, her voice was very happy. She had finally successfully escaped Song Lingshan's pursuit again. Yu Xiaok, remember this. I'll beat you to death next time. Song Lingshan was furious. She glared at Yu Xiaok and said hatefully. Yu Xiaok didn't argue with Song Lingshan. She knew her own situation. She was seriously injured and was running to the orphanage with her teeth gritted and faith in her heart. Lin Yi's heart moved slightly and he said to Song Lingshan, I'll go over and see, can you catch her? Song Lingshan was immediately delighted after hearing Lin Yi's words. She thought Lin Yi was going to help her catch Yu Xiaok. No, she's not in good condition. I'm afraid you'll beat her to death, Lin Yi said, and set off to follow. Song Lingshan stomped her feet in anger. It seemed that Lin Yi could have caught Yu Xiaok, but he didn't go. Instead, he went to check on Yu Xiaok's injuries. However, she couldn't interfere in Lin Yi's affairs. Although Song Lingshan was angry, she didn't dare to raise any objections to Lin Yi. Lin Yi secretly followed Yu Xiaok, only to see her running towards the shanty town. Lin Yi had to admit that Yu Xiaok was incredibly fast. If he hadn't already reached this one level and excelled at speed, it would have been hard to say if he could have caught up with her. Yu Xiaok was swift, passing through the shanty town in the blink of an eye, arriving in front of a dilapidated courtyard. She pushed the door open and entered. Perhaps her previous escape had used up every last bit of her strength, as she collapsed to the ground once inside, unable to get up again. Lin Yi secretly admired Yu Xiaok's endurance. It was truly remarkable that she had managed to run this far, using up her last breath. This was a very shabby courtyard. At the gate, a wooden sign with black lettering on a white background stood, but due to its age, it was completely tarnished. Only a few words could be faintly discerned, requiring careful deciphering. It read, Shantytown Private Orphanage. Was it indeed an orphanage? After seeing the sign, Lin Yi's suspicions about Yu Xiaok vanished considerably. He was now almost 100% certain that everything Yu Xiaok had said was true. However, the orphanage's dilapidated state moved Lin Yi somewhat. He quickly followed, reaching over to Yu Xiaok's side. He leaned over and reached out to examine her injuries. Who are you? Let Sister Xiaok go, you scoundrel. Stay away from Sister Xiaok. Suddenly, a group of children ran out of the courtyard's only red brick building and surrounded Lin Yi, trying to prevent him from getting close to Yu Xiaok. Sister Xiaok, what's wrong with you? Oh, Sister Xiaok, Why are you spitting blood? A little girl burst into tears upon seeing the blood at the corner of Yu Zaiok's mouth. The other boys who had come with her glared at Lin Yi. Who are you? Why did you hurt Sister Zaiok? Lin Yi hadn't expected his well-intentioned actions to be misunderstood by these children, but he didn't dwell on it. After all, they were young and ignorant. Seeing Yu Zaiok lying there, they naturally assumed he was the villain who had hurt her. However, Lin Yi could see that the children clearly had a deep bond with Yu Zaiok. This meant that what Yu Zaiok had said before was true. She had probably stolen the money for these children and for the orphanage. What are you doing? Get back, a commanding voice rang out. Lin Yi looked up and saw an elderly woman in her 50s emerging from the red brick house. She quickly approached Lin Yi, looking at Yu Zaiok lying on the ground, then at Lin Yi, a complex expression on her face. Dean, this man is a bad guy. He hurt Sister Zaiok. Sister Zaiok is vomiting blood. Should we call the police to arrest him? Stop arguing. Go back, the old woman called. The dean shouted at the group of children, you have nothing to do here. Go back and study. But Dean, Sister Zaiok is vomiting blood, the younger girl cried and didn't want to leave. What? My words don't work, do they? Go back, the old woman shouted at the little girl and pulled her over to prevent her from getting close to Lin Yi. Then she said to one of the older boys, Zaiok, take your brothers and sisters back. The boy named Zaiok looked at Yu Zaiok on the ground. He was a little worried, but he didn't dare to go against the dean's wishes. So he asked the children to go back to the red brick house together. Chapter 792. If you don't save me, I'll die. However, it was obvious that these children were very worried about Yu Zaiok's situation. How could they feel at ease when they saw Yu Zaiok vomiting blood? After the children left, the old woman looked at Lin Yi. Zaiok stole your money, right? But your move was really too cruel. You even chased her here to steal your money. I can compensate you. I hope you will let Zaiok go. She is a good child. I believe you have also seen that she stole money entirely for this orphanage. If I were not an old useless woman, I would not let this child go out. The old woman did not want the children in the orphanage to know that their beloved sister Zaiok went out to make money for them every day, but was actually stealing. This matter was known only to the old woman, and no one else knew. This was also the reason why the old woman asked the children to go into the house. These things should be kept secret from the children as much as possible. It is best not to let the children know these things in advance. It is not good for their growth. Lin Yi was slightly startled by the old woman's words, then realized she had misunderstood. She assumed he was the one who had lost the item, and that Yu Zaiok's injuries were his own fault. He had obviously followed her here for this very reason. The old woman was well aware of Yu Zaiok's skills. While not exceptional, anyone who could injure her was certainly no mediocre fighter. Since Lin Yi had been able to injure Yu Zaiok, he clearly had some kung fu experience. Although the old woman couldn't fully grasp Lin Yi's strength, she was cautious. So, the old woman offered some words of comfort to Yu Zaiok, hoping Lin Yi would understand. You misunderstood. She didn't steal my money. Lin Yi shook his head. She didn't. The old woman was stunned, looking at Lin Yi in surprise. If she didn't, then why did you do such a cruel thing? The old woman's tone grew more serious, her face a wary look, and for a moment, her aura grew. Yellow rank master. Lin Yi was slightly taken aback, then shook his head. Your strength isn't yellow rank, but your aura is. How odd. The old woman increased her aura, and Lin Yi instantly sensed her strength, early yellow rank. However, that aura was enough, and then Lin Yi sensed something was amiss. Although her aura is yellow rank, the old woman's true ki wasn't strong. Half of her strength at yellow rank was already impressive, as if something had sealed away half of her ki. You know yellow rank. The old woman's expression suddenly changed, and she stared at Lin Yi intently. She hadn't expected Lin Yi to see through her strength so quickly. Was he also a master? I didn't hurt Zaiok. Song Lingshan beat her. Lin Yi didn't answer the old woman's question about the yellow rank, but instead explained Yu Zaiok's injury. Song Lingshan? Song Lingshan from the Municipal Bureau's Criminal Investigation Team. The old woman had clearly heard of Song Lingshan. Well, please move aside. Zaiok's injuries are severe. If we don't help her, she might die. Lin Yi ignored the old woman and squatted down, holding Yu Zaiok's hand. The situation was tense, and the old woman had already decided to fight Lin Yi head-on. However, Lin Yi seemed to have no intention of fighting her at all. Crouching down, He completely exposed his weaknesses to the old woman, and for a moment, the old woman was at a loss as to what to do. Should she attack or not? The old woman felt that from this perspective, attacking Lin Yi would give her an absolute advantage, at least gaining the upper hand. However, Lin Yi claimed that he hadn't injured Yu Xiaoke and that he had come to save her. Although the old woman didn't quite believe Lin Yi's words, she felt relieved when she saw that he held Yu Xiaoke's hand and didn't seem to have any intention of harming her. However, she still watched Lin Yi with caution, fearing that he might hurt her. Lin Yi examined Yu Xiaoke's injuries. Originally, Song Lingshan's blow had only dislocated Yu Xiaoke's internal organs, which she would recover with some rest. However, Yu Xiaoke desperately ran back to the orphanage with her last breath, which greatly aggravated her injuries. She had already suffered internal injuries. If she didn't receive virgin treatment, even if she recovered, she would still have sequelae. Find me a quiet room and don't let anyone disturb me. Lin Yi picked up Yu Xiaoke and instructed the old woman. You really want to save Xiaoke? The old woman was naturally a little skeptical of Lin Yi. After all, they had only met once, and she didn't know the relationship between Lin Yi and Yu Xiaoke, so she hesitated. If you can cure it, I'll let you do it, Lin Yi said calmly. How could the old woman know how to treat illnesses? If it weren't for Lin Yi, her first reaction would be to rush Yu Xiaoke to the hospital. It may be that Lin Yi picked up Yu Xiaoke and touched Yu Xiaoke's injury. When the old woman was hesitating whether to believe Lin Yi, Yu Xiaoke woke up, opened her eyes with difficulty, and saw that she was in Lin Yi's arms. After a slight pause, she said, "You are really nice. Are you going to send me to the hospital? Did Song Lingshan chase us? Xiaoke, how are you?" The old woman did not expect Yu Xiaoke to wake up suddenly, and asked hurriedly in surprise. Master Yu Xiaoke also saw the old woman and smiled with difficulty. "I'm fine. I was beaten by Song Lingshan." After saying this, Yu Xiaoke fainted again. She felt that Lin Yi would definitely not watch her die, and with the old dean by her side, she didn't need to hold on any longer. After hearing Yu Xiaoke's words and seeing that she showed no hostility toward Lin Yi, the old woman finally felt relieved and quickly led Lin Yi to an empty room. "This is Xiaoke's room, separate from the children. No one should bother you here. But can you really save Xiaoke?" Lin Yi frowned. Since the old woman was Yu Xiaoke's teacher and genuinely cared about her, he didn't show any impatience. "Yes, you can. Please leave," Lin Yi said calmly. The old woman was a little embarrassed. After all, she was not 100% confident in Lin Yi and didn't dare leave without permission, fearing that Lin Yi would do something to hurt Yu Xiaoke. After all, Yu Xiaoke was very beautiful. What if Lin Yi had any evil intentions and took advantage of Yu Xiaoke's inability to move to do whatever he wanted? If Lin Yi knew what the old woman was thinking, he would probably only smile bitterly. "If you want to watch, then go ahead." Seeing that the old woman didn't go out, Lin Yi didn't drive her away. Since she was a master of the yellow level, she should be able to see how he rescued Yu Xiaoke. Chapter 793 Xiaoke's boyfriend? Lin Yi has been enjoying using his energy to save lives lately. It seems that except for organic diseases, such as Liu Zhenhu's heart disease, his energy should be effective in all cases. It is especially effective for external injuries. Lin Yi silently activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue in his mind, and the energy generated in his body continuously flowed into Yu Xiaoke's body. However, Yu Xiaoke's injuries were not serious, and the energy required was not great. Lin Yi did not feel weak or exhausted. Soon, Yu Xiaoke's face showed a rosy glow. The old woman's eyes widened in surprise. Lin Yi just held Yu Xiaoke's hand and did nothing else, and Yu Xiaoke's condition was getting better and better? How is this possible? It seems a bit unreasonable. Suddenly, the old woman recalled a terrifying possibility. In her youth, she had also suffered a serious injury that not only crippled her martial arts skills but also left her on the verge of death. To keep her alive, her master had passed on his lifelong skills to her through a form of martial arts training. However, after this, the master had exhausted his energy and reached the end of his life. The old woman was deeply grateful to her master, and this had also given her an understanding of the somewhat bizarre concept of martial arts training. Could Lin Yi also be passing on martial arts to Yu Xiaoke? What kind of relationship did Lin Yi have with Yu Xiaoke that would make him do such a thing? Such sacrifice was not something that could be achieved through ordinary friendship. If it were her, and Yu Xiaoke were fatally injured, She would have sacrificed herself without hesitation to save her life, but that was only because she was Yu Zhao's master in their deep bond. But why would Lin Yi make such a sacrifice? Could it be that Lin Yi was Yu Zhao's boyfriend? The old woman suddenly thought of this possibility, and she became a little suspicious. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi sacrifice himself to save Yu Zhao? Was he stupid? With this thought, the old woman became more and more certain of her suspicion. Yu Zhao was already 18 years old, and at the age of falling in love. She had ignored this matter and still treated her like a child. But in fact, Yu Zhao was not young anymore. The pressure Yu Zhao endured every day was too great. Supporting an orphanage on her own was too hard and tiring. Having emotional comfort could relieve her stress. Of course, the old woman was still very strict about Yu Zhao's boyfriend, but seeing Lin Yi actually using his true energy to save Yu Zhao, the old woman immediately dispelled her doubts about Lin Yi's character. If he didn't truly care about Zhao, who would do such a thing? Huh? Lin Yi let out a long breath and released his grip on Yu Zhao's hand. Yu Zhao required far less Zhangqi than Pengzhan Group, Chu Mengyao, and General Weiwu, so while Lin Yi lost some, it was nothing to him. Alright, she should be awake soon. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. He had his own principles. While he could help Song Lingshan solve the case, he could also sabotage her plans to capture Yu Zhao. I'm leaving first. What? You're leaving now? The old woman was truly puzzled. She was also puzzled by the fact that Lin Yi hadn't blushed or fluttered after using Zhangqi to save Yu Zhao, which surprised her greatly. There were only two possibilities. One was that Lin Yi's strength had far surpassed expectations. And the other was that Lin Yi hadn't used Zhangqi. Then what was it? The second point that puzzled the old woman was that Lin Yi had gone to such great lengths to save Yu Zhao. Normally, he would have been waiting for her to wake up, and she would surely be overwhelmed with emotion. This was a normal thing for young lovers, right? But Lin Yi didn't seem to care at all. I have something else to do, so I'm leaving first. Lin Yi nodded. By the way, if Song Lingshan continues to cause trouble for her, ask her to call me. This is my phone number. As he spoke, Lin Yi wrote a string of phone numbers on the calendar at the head of Yu Zhao's bed. Wait a minute, did you use your true key to treat Yu Zhao just now? The old woman asked, the doubt in her heart. You can say that. Lin Yi nodded. Yu Zhao can use your true key. Although the old woman's strength was not high, she also knew that if it was not a martial art from the same school, the similarity of true key would be almost zero, and it would be impossible to use it universally. Forcibly infusing it into someone else's body would not only not benefit them, but would be very harmful. Okay, Lin Yi said. Okay, I'm leaving first. After speaking, he ignored the old woman and turned around and left Yu Zhao's room. Lin Yi and Yu Zhao weren't actually very familiar with each other, let alone the old woman. So, for the sake of helping Yu Zhao, Lin Yi had already done quite well. He helped Yu Zhao so much because he admired her. Despite her hardships, she was optimistic and found joy in her daily life. She had stolen so much money, yet she didn't know how to enjoy a single cent. She wore the cheapest street vendor clothes, and her room was Spartan, with worn-out iron windows, a shabby desk, and not even a decent wardrobe. The only luxury item she had was probably the computer on the desk. The monitor was a bit obsolete, and the case was missing a panel. The keyboard and mouse were also very old-fashioned, but they were very clean. Perhaps someone had given them away as a donation? For a beautiful young woman, essential cosmetics, a dressing table, and wardrobes were missing from Yu Zhao's room. On her desk, besides a bottle of Dabao sought honey, which was considered a skincare product, there was only a box of hand oil in a shell, a rare sight. It was hard for Lin Yi to imagine how this girl, living her daily life, could have never been tempted by such a large sum of money. As for her wardrobe, it was just a large cardboard box on the floor, with a few scattered pieces of clothing inside. It was pitifully small. Besides underwear, there were only 2 or 3 sets of outerwear for spare clothes. It was truly pitiful. So, if he could, Lin Yi would be willing to help Yu Zhao. This wasn't just to help Yu Zhao herself, but to help all the children in the orphanage. When Lin Yi left Yu Zhao's room, he saw the boy named Zhao Ken sneaking around a short distance, peeking in. Seeing that he had been spotted by Lin Yi, he stopped hiding and came out a little embarrassedly. Brother, I'm sorry. I wronged you. Chapter 794 Yu Zhao's Admirer. It was obvious that Xiao Ken must have overheard the subsequent conversation between Lin Yi and the old director, which surprised Lin Yi. How dare this kid disobey the old director and secretly eavesdrop? It wasn't that Lin Yi wasn't on guard. In fact, there was nothing to hide in their previous conversation, so Lin Yi hadn't been worried of anyone eavesdropping. Besides, there were no strangers around the orphanage, so Lin Yi didn't take it seriously. Do you know about Xiao Ke? Lin Yi was slightly surprised and looked at Xiao Ken. Yes, I know a little. Xiao Ke is a good person. Although she steals things, she only steals from those who are rich and unscrupulous. Xiao Ken was the oldest of the group, around 15 years old. It was normal for him to understand these things. Can I ask you something? What is it? Lin Yi had no natural aversion to these orphans, so he didn't mind talking to them. Are you Xiao Ke's boyfriend? Xiao Ken hesitated, still a little shy and awkward. Lin Yi was somewhat surprised by the boy's attitude in asking the question. It seemed to carry a hint of jealousy and envy. His expression also betrayed his true intentions, making Lin Yi feel a little amused. Do you like Xiao? Xiao Ken was startled by Lin Yi's sudden question. His face flushed, his fists clenched, and his breathing became rapid. His eyes were a little evasive, not daring to look directly at Lin Yi. But after a long while, he said, in the orphanage, the sensible boys all admire Sister Xiao and want to marry her in the future. Xiao Ken's words were also a disguised acknowledgement of Lin Yi's guess. Although he didn't admit it, it was no different from admitting it. How? Lin Yi smiled slightly and looked Xiao Ken up and down. Judging from his body shape alone, he would not be able to tell that he was only 15 years old. He was already over 1.7 meters tall. It was only his childish face that betrayed his age. At his age, it's normal for him to have feelings for the opposite sex. Yu Xiao is beautiful, and she's the idol these kids admire every day. Like fans, it's understandable that they might have those feelings about her. You're not going to do anything obscene with Yu Xiao's photo, are you? Lin Yi couldn't help but tease Xiao Ken, finding him quite amusing. How could that be possible? Xiao Ken suddenly grew anxious, his face flushing as he glared at Lin Yi. Sister Xiao is like a goddess to us. How could I possibly desecrate her? Oh, I'm just asking. Why are you so excited? Lin Yi laughed. It looked like Xiao Ken wasn't lying. He probably felt more respect for Yu Xiao than anything else. Actually, we all know we're not worthy of Sister Xiao. She's so kind and beautiful. We all hope she can find a boyfriend who can protect her, bring her happiness, and make her life less arduous. Xiao Ken suddenly looked up at Lin Yi. But we can't do that, can you? Me. Lin Yi was slightly startled, then shook his head in surprise. This is the second time I've met her. Huh? You're not Sister Xiao's boyfriend. Xiao Ken was also a little stunned. Then why are you still trying to save her? This is an adult matter, kid, don't ask around. Lin Yi, feeling somewhat amused, dismissed Xiao Ken. Go back and study hard. The old director will come out soon, and see if she doesn't scold you. Ah. Then I'm leaving. Xiao Ken frightened at the mention of the old director. He made a face at Lin Yi and ran back to the red brick house. Lin Yi shook his head. He might be a bratty kid, but he was still a child after all. However, Xiao Ken's words resonated with Lin Yi. It wasn't a long-term solution for Yu Xiao to keep stealing like this. Could she possibly do something for the orphanage? Lin Yi is not the kind of person who likes to help others, but this time he changed his previous attitude, also because he felt that these children were a little pitiful. In a not very luxurious ward of the First People's Hospital, Kang Xiaoming was lying on the hospital bed, with a haggard look on his face and an IV drip hanging on his body, still cursing. He had just woken up not long ago. He was frightened by the old man pushing a corpse in the morgue downstairs and fainted. He was taken to the ward by Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubin. After the glucose and medicine were hung up, Kang Xiaoming woke up faintly. Damn it, it's a pitfall. Pushing a corpse to scare people almost scared me to death. Mr. Ming, how about Xiaozhang and I go beat up that old man to vent your anger? Wang Shubin asked carefully. Get lost. Doing those useless things. What problem can be solved by beating him? You will have to pay for damages, idiot. Kang Xiaoming glared at Wang Shubin and said, by the way, where is Guanzin? Did she come to give me the injection? No, it was an old woman who came. She is extremely strong and her breasts are bigger than my butt. Wang Shubin shook his head. Damn it, Go and find out for me when Guanxin is on duty and find a way to replace her for me, Kang Xiaoming said. I can't catch a cold in vain. Not only will I suffer, but I also have to spend money. Who should I ask? I don't know anyone in this hospital. It's not like Donghe here, Wang Shubin sighed. Young Master Ming, it's completely dark here. Damn it, just give money. Do I need to tell you this? Just find someone who knows the inside story and give him a little bribe, and you can find out, Kang Xiaoming said, a little unhappy. For example, the old woman you mentioned before, if you give her some money, I don't believe she won't tell you. That's right, Wang Shubin nodded. I'll go and see later. Before Wang Shubin finished speaking, the door of the ward was pushed open, and the old woman nurse walked in and asked in a loud voice, is the patient awake? Awake, awake, auntie, come and see. Wang Shubin wanted to get something out of the old woman, so his attitude became extremely respectful. What did you say? Who are you calling aunt? I'm not even married yet. The old nurse glared at Wang Shubin and almost slapped him. Sorry, I only saw it clearly when I got closer. It turned out to be a beautiful nurse sister. Wang Shubin was startled and quickly changed his words. My eyesight is not very good, please forgive me. That's better. The old nurse glared at Wang Shubin, walked to Kang Xiaoming's bed, took a look, and said, isn't it okay? People nowadays are they have to be hospitalized for a little problem. It's just a cold, why are you making such a fuss? It's okay, you can be discharged today. Chapter 795 Kang Xiaoming's self-injury. Well, you'd better stay for 2 more days, Wang Shubin whispered. Sister nurse, can you please excuse me to talk? Excuse me to talk? If you have something to say, just say it here. If you have something to say, hurry up and fart. I'm busy. The old nurse had a bad impression of Wang Shubin. She had actually called her aunt before. What a look. Well, Wang Shubin quickly rummaged through his trouser pockets and took out a few hundred yuan. He didn't know where his wallet was lost before, and there was not much money left. He took a rough look and found that there were only more than 400 yuan, some of which were in small change. However, this was all he had, and it was too late to go to the bank to withdraw it. He could only bite the bullet and say, Sister nurse, can you please fulfill one of my requests? What do you mean? Have you watched too many Japanese XX movies? I'm a serious person. Don't have those weird ideas. The old nurse looked at Wang Shubin with contempt. Besides, for such a small amount of money, you want me to lose my dignity? Are you dreaming, huh? Wang Shubin was stunned, and he knew that the old nurse had misunderstood him. For this kind of stuff, why wouldn't you pay 400? Wang Shubin wouldn't even take it for free, but now he needed help, so he could only whisper, I'm sorry, nurse, you misunderstood. I don't have any weird thoughts. I just want to ask you something. Ask you something? What? The old nurse's face brightened a little when she heard that Wang Shubin didn't mean that 400 yuan for some information was worth it, but it all depended on what he wanted to know. If it was something unimportant, it would be fine to tell him, but if he wanted to pry into the hospital secrets, then there was nothing she could do. She could only kiss 400 yuan goodbye. It's like this, my boss is this Mr. Ming. Wang Shubin pointed at Kang Xiaoming lying on the hospital bed and continued, he wants to pursue a nurse in your hospital. Isn't this to find out some information? Oh, why didn't you say it earlier? The old nurse snatched the money from Wang Shubin's hand and put it in her pocket. Ask, I'll tell you everything I know. The old nurse could still talk about this kind of thing, and it was not considered a red envelope. It was the income from her labor outside the scope of her job, so she felt at ease accepting it. That female nurse is Guanxin. Is she also a nurse in your surgery department? Wang Shubin asked quickly when he saw that there was a way. Guanxin, I know her. She is the most beautiful girl in our surgery department. What do you want to know? The old nurse didn't know Guanxin's background, so she didn't care about saying anything about her behind her back. Sister nurse, my boss is in the hospital because of Guanxin. But I don't know what kind of illness Guanxin is responsible for. I want to get in touch with Guanxin, but I can't. Wang Shubin said with some embarrassment. Beautiful sister nurse, can you help me find a way? Oh, that's easy. Guanxin is responsible for bandaging external injuries. He is not responsible for injections and the like. If you want to see her, you have to have an external injury. Otherwise, even if you die of a cold here, you won't be able to see her, said the old nurse. So, it seems we are going in the wrong direction. Wang Shubin gave Kang Xiaoming a sympathetic look. It seemed that the suffering from the cold was in vain. He couldn't even see the shadow of Guanzin. Okay, it's okay, I'm leaving. You can figure it out on your own. After the old nurse finished speaking, she walked away with her big butt twisted. She earned more than 400 yuan with just a few words. It was really worth it. Damn it, Kang Xiaoming was so angry that he slapped the bed in anger. If I had known this would happen, I would have investigated it first, so I wouldn't have to suffer so much. Yeah, Mr. Ming, but now I can only cure my cold first, Zhu Xiaozhang replied with a sigh. Cure what? Did that old woman just say that I'm almost well again? Hurry up and find a way to help me get close to Guanzin. Kang Xiaoming was anxious. Thinking of seeing Guanzin and that bitch Xiaofan together before, he felt a little uneasy. He didn't know what their relationship was, and whether Xiaofan had told him about her relationship. But Kang Xiaoming thought that she probably wouldn't tell him yet, because it was a bit embarrassing for Xiaofan. She wouldn't expose her shame, would she? But that girl seemed a little mentally ill, right? If she told others, it would be hard to say. So Kang Xiaoming wanted to get Guanzin as soon as possible. As long as he could get Guanzin into bed, everything would be easy to deal with. Even if Guanzin knew, it was already a done deal. It didn't matter. Ming Xiao, it's actually the same trick. Just endure a little more pain, Wang Shubin said after a moment's hesitation. Oh? You mean? Kang Xiaoming's eyes lit up. Ming Xiao, why don't you just cut your hand and ask Guanzin to bandage it? Wang Shubin suggested, nodding. That's right. Come on, right now. Kang Xiaoming held out his hand. Go ahead. Wang Shubin hesitated for a moment. He could cut others, but he didn't dare cut Kang Xiaoming. Who knew how deep it would hurt? What if it hurt? What's this? Hurry, Kang Xiaoming was a little anxious. He had come to Songshan City with a heavy responsibility. This was his first time carrying out a family mission, so Kang Xiaoming didn't want to fail. He also knew that as a playboy, he could only do this kind of thing. If he couldn't do it well, his status in the family would be completely lost. Xiao Zhang, you should do it, Wang Shubin said, still a little hesitant. Zhu Xiaozhang was bolder than Wang Shubin. He was known as the arrogant brother, but his arrogance was directed at others, not Kang Xiaoming. Hurry up, what are you thinking? Kang Xiaoming said anxiously. Over there, isn't there still a needle on the IV bottle I just used? Use it to cut me, okay, Mr. Ming, just bear with it. Zhu Xiaozhang nodded, picked up the used IV needle on the table over there, and with a determined heart, cut a small cut on Kang Xiaoming's arm. Hiss, Kang Xiaoming gasped. It really hurt, but he had asked Zhu Xiaozhang to do it, so he couldn't blame Zhu Xiaozhang, could he? Is it done? After making one cut, Zhu Xiaozhang was a little hesitant to continue. Is that what you mean? Kang Xiaoming was also in great pain. Let's go, let's find Guanzin to bandage it. Kang Xiaoming didn't care about the IV drip he was having, he just pulled out the needle and quickly ran out of the ward. I have to say that Kang Xiaoming is occasionally lucky. Today, Guanzin just didn't have a rest and is currently in the surgical nurse duty room. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 796 Testing Guanzin. Nurse Guanzin, help. My boss's hand was cut. Could you please bandage it? Wang Shubin pushed open the door of the nurse duty room and said to Guanzin. Guanzin raised her head. She didn't expect that it was Kang Xiaoming and his gang who came again. She was disgusted. How could she not see what Kang Xiaoming wanted to do? But Guanzin already had someone she liked, so it was impossible for her to do anything with him. Although her lover already had a lover, Guanzin would not like Kang Xiaoming even so. However, although she hated them, out of professional ethics, Guanzin could not ignore them. At this moment, she was the only one in the nurse duty room, so Guanzin could only stand up. Guanzin frowned secretly. This Kang Xiaoming was quite smart. He failed to approach her last time, and this time he cut his hand again. But Guanzin could only help him deal with it first. Generally, more urgent injuries are dealt with first, and then the fees are paid. Can I take a look? Guanzin had to ask. Here, Guanzin, I'm so unlucky. I caught a cold yesterday and scratched my hand today. Oh, I'm so unlucky, Kang Xiaoming raised his injured left hand and said to Guanzin. Guanzin looked at the wound on Kang Xiaoming's hand and was speechless. Such a small wound needs to be bandaged? Most people would probably apply some medicine or put on a band-aid, but why is Kang Xiaoming so squeamish? What's wrong? Kang Xiaoming asked with some confusion when he saw Guanzin didn't speak. Guanzin still didn't speak. She was sure that Kang Xiaoming must have done it on purpose. Maybe he made the wounds on his hands on purpose. Thinking of this, Guanzin was furious. Why is this guy like this? Guanzin opened the cabinet and found a band-aid and handed it to Kang Xiaoming. Here, just put it on yourself. I put it on myself. Kang Xiaoming was stunned. How are you going to bandage such a small wound? Guanzin asked back. Kang Xiaoming was stunned, and felt that this was indeed the case. The wound was indeed a little small, and it was not wrong for Guanzin to give him a band-aid. Then can you help me? Kang Xiaoming did not miss any opportunity to get close to Guanzin. Isn't your other hand broken? Guanzin frowned. I'm a patient, and you're a nurse. You should help me, and I'm not doing it for free, Kang Xiaoming said a little aggrieved. Oh, that band-aid is a gift from me as a friendship. I don't need any money. After Guanzin finished speaking, she ignored Kang Xiaoming and turned back to her desk, reading a book by herself. Kang Xiaoming had no choice but to put a band-aid on the wound himself, but he was thinking in his heart how to get Guanzin to say something and ask her what the relationship between her and Xiaofan was. It was really hard to say this, and he didn't know how to bring up the topic. Why don't you leave? Guanzin waited for a while, and found that Kang Xiaoming was still standing in her office, and asked curiously. It's nothing. I was thinking of leaving right away. Kang Xiaoming laughed and said, by the way, I wanted to look for you when I came back yesterday, but I saw you accompanying a girl with some mobility problems, as if you were going to do something. Oh, Guanzin responded meaninglessly. Is she your friend? Kang Xiaoming asked carefully. Does this matter have anything to do with you? Guanzin didn't understand what Kang Xiaoming wanted to say. Nothing. Guanzin's words made Kang Xiaoming's heart beat fast. He felt that Guanzin seemed to be making a double entendre. Does this matter have anything to do with you? Was this tone a question or a rhetorical question? Did Guanzin know about his relationship with Xiaofan? Kang Xiaoming felt more and more uneasy in his heart. Damn it, Xiaofan, this little bitch, is more of a hindrance than a help. If she really told Guanzin about her and her affairs, then he would really have no chance at all. Kang Xiaoming wasn't particularly discouraged by Guanzin's cold attitude. He was quite adept at pursuing girls. When he'd first pursued Xiaofan, she'd been similarly indifferent, yet she'd fallen head over heels in love with him. So Kang Xiaoming was confident he could make Guanzin fall in love with him, but the main obstacle was Xiaofan. If Xiaofan started to brag and tell Guanzin about her and her affairs, making her wary and defensive, then he'd have no chance. Leaving Guanzin's office, Kang Xiaoming stamped his foot in anger. Did you find out anything, Mr. Ming? It seems like Guanzin knows something, Zhu Xiaozhang asked. I think so too. Why does she sound like she's got something else in her words? Does she know about Xiaofan and me? Kang Xiaoming felt annoyed, but he couldn't ask Guanzin directly. Mr. Ming, I don't think Guanzin knows anything about you and Xiaofan at the moment, Wang Shubin said, shaking his head. Oh? What do you mean? Kang Xiaoming was taken aback, then a smile crossed his face. Young Master Ming, think about it. If Guanzin knew about this, she wouldn't be so cold towards you anymore. She'd probably resent you. And if she truly knew the whole story when you first asked her about Xiaofan, she wouldn't just say oh, she'd probably ridicule you to vent her anger, wouldn't she? Wang Shubin analyzed. That makes sense, Kang Xiaoming nodded, feeling relieved. That's easy. As long as Guanzin doesn't know, there's no problem, young Master Ming. We can't let our guard down. Even if Guanzin doesn't know now, she'll probably find out as she interacts with Xiaofan more. So, we have to take action quickly, Wang Shubin suggested. Well, haven't we been discussing this before? Do you have any good ideas for getting that bitch Xiaofan to shut up? Kang Xiaoming was also a little worried that Xiaofan might say something. If this wasn't handled, it would be a ticking time bomb. Mr. Ming, to be honest, if you want Xiaofan to shut up willingly, I think the only way is to give her hush money. Wang Shubin hesitated and said, Xiaofan may be still brooding over what happened back then. Both the physical and mental injuries are very serious. She must hate you, Mr. Ming. So we have to give her compensation to make her shut up. Kang Xiaoming felt reluctant when he heard that he had to pay money, but what Wang Shubin said was right. These days, nothing is more real than money. If you want Xiaofan to shut up, you can only give her some money, and this money must not be less. Chapter 797, Apology. How much money do we need? Kang Xiaoming asked. I think this is the minimum. Wang Shubin held out his hand, hesitated, and said, now that bitch Xiaofan is involved with Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi, her standards have become higher. She doesn't even care about the ordinary 100,000 or 80,000. 500,000 is a bit much, but it's not unacceptable. Kang Xiaoming nodded. Okay, I'll talk to my family and ask them to give me the money. Tomorrow morning we'll go find Xiaofan. This matter must be resolved as soon as possible to avoid any more trouble. It's best to sign an agreement with Xiaofan tomorrow. Our 500,000 is her compensation. After she signs the agreement, she won't pursue the past or mention it to anyone else, Wang Shubin suggested. Of course. Otherwise, what if I give her the money and she doesn't acknowledge it later? Kang Xiaoming nodded. The wound on my hand is too small. Does that mean I should injure her more seriously next time? Don't worry about that. Wang Shubin waved his hand and said, Mr. Ming, you had a cold yesterday and cut your hand today. It is easy to arouse suspicion. If you get injured again right after that, Guanzin will definitely think there is something wrong. That's right, but I feel a little nervous when I think about getting a serious injury. A minor injury is already so painful. How painful would a serious injury be? Kang Xiaoming felt a little scared when he thought about it. The most urgent thing is to deal with Xiaofan's matter. Today is the second time that Kaibing Real Estate Company has officially contacted the residents of the shanty town. It is hosted by Li Chihua, Jin Guobang and Zhong Fabei. The location is a temporary demolition office built in front of the shantytown. Shantytown residents gathered outside the demolition office early in the morning, eagerly anticipating the day. They believed Kaibing Real Estate Company was coming with sincerity this time. The previous forced demolition had already caused trouble, and while it had been settled privately, it had also cost a considerable amount. Those familiar with Tang's mother knew that young Master Bing had paid a heavy price for this, so they assumed that Kaibing Real Estate Company, having learned its lesson, would undoubtedly discuss compensation with the shantytown residents on an equal footing. Looking at the expectant faces of the shantytown residents, Li Shiho sneered inwardly. These people were truly ridiculously foolish. They thought that just because the previous forced demolition had caused trouble, they would actually negotiate on equal terms this time? How naive! Kaibing Real Estate Company was running low on funds and couldn't afford to compensate the shantytown residents. Furthermore, Kaibing Real Estate Company was eager to expand and launch its first development, and it had to cut a Gordian knot. Zhao Kaibing couldn't wait any longer. He had been in Songshan City for so long without achieving anything. How could he give the Zhao family an explanation? Although the Zhao family, including his father, hadn't said anything so far, Zhao Kaibing must be very disappointed in the Zhao family. If he couldn't even handle such a small group of troublemakers, how could he possibly manage the Zhao family? Li Chihu's plan this time was simple: lure the residents of the shantytown to the demolition office and then forcefully demolish the only building in the shantytown, a 3-story red brick building. Demolishing the bungalows one by one was too cumbersome, and demolishing just one or two would have little deterrent effect. Only by leaving everyone homeless would they be forced to accept the compensation offered by Kaibing Real Estate. And demolishing the 3-story building would only require a few bulldozers. By the time it was demolished, it would be too late for the residents to realize anything was amiss. Early in the morning, Xiaofan's parents arrived at the demolition office with the others, leaving Xiaofan at home. They thought Xiaofan's legs weren't working well, and they were also worried that some dispute might arise during today's negotiations, potentially causing her further distress. As soon as her parents left, there was a knock on the door. Xiaofan, assuming her parents had forgotten something, walked over and opened the door without giving it a second thought. But upon opening the door, she was stunned. What? You don't want me here? Kang Xiaoming smiled at Xiaofan. Damn, this girl has become even more beautiful than before. If he weren't so infatuated, he wouldn't mind playing with her for a while longer. You, Kang Xiaoming, what are you doing here? Xiaofan glared at him unfriendly. If it had been a month ago, if Kang Xiaoming had come to see her, Xiaofan would have been overwhelmed with joy. But now, with the nourishment of a new love, Xiaofan had long since come to her senses and had seen Kang Xiaoming for what he was. She had given up all thoughts of him. She now treated him like a stranger, even worse than a stranger. After all, that hatred wasn't something she could easily let go of. This man ruined his life. Although Kang Xiaobo treated her very well and never despised her, Xiaofan always felt that she owed Kang Xiaobo and was unable to leave her intact body to him. This made Xiaofan feel guilty whenever she thought about it. And the culprit of all this was Kang Xiaoming. How could Xiaofan still be nice to him? Kang Xiaoming came alone, without Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang, because he came here to put on a show for Xiaofan. He had to show enough sincerity to make Xiaofan shut up. Bringing Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubin would show that he was the eldest son, so in order to avoid Xiaofan having a bad impression, he didn't bring anyone with him. Xiaofan, I came here today because I actually want to have a good talk with you. Can you let me in first? Kang Xiaoming said with a smile, trying to make his words sound more sincere. There is nothing more to talk about between us. Xiaofan shook her head and was about to close the door. Kang Xiaoming was startled. He couldn't let Xiaofan close the door, otherwise his trip would have been in vain. He quickly grabbed the door and said, Xiaofan, don't close the door yet. I came here today to apologize to you. Apologize? What kind of apology? Xiaofan frowned, but did not close the door immediately. Xiaofan, I was young and frivolous in the past, and caused you a lot of harm. I came here today to apologize to you, Kang Xiaoming said very sincerely. Oh, I don't want to talk about the past anymore. Please go. Xiaofan was actually telling the truth. She had completely let go of the past. Now seeing Kang Xiaoming, although she hated him a little, she also blamed herself for being so stupid and trusting such a person. Chapter 798 Compensation of 500,000. However, Kang Xiaoming felt a little uneasy when he heard these words. He had transferred to another school and had heard about Xiaofan's affairs. Xiaofan had become mentally ill because of him, so how could she not hate him? Xiaofan, I am really here to apologize sincerely today, and I want to do my best to give you some necessary compensation, Kang Xiaoming said. When I passed by the shanty town just now, I saw that there seemed to be some kind of demolition mobilization meeting outside. Your house is going to be demolished, right? Buying a new house also costs money. Can you let me in first? What do you mean? You want to give me money? Xiaofan felt a little unbelievable. She had now seen through Kang Xiaoming's ruthlessness. Why couldn't she believe that Kang Xiaoming was giving her money? Yes, I hurt you before, and I was wrong. You see, your leg is broken now, and it costs money to see a doctor. I am going to pay you a lump sum of money, which can be regarded as atonement for what I did before. Kang Xiaoming nodded and said. Is it true? Xiaofan was still a little bit unconvinced, because Kang Xiaoming's words and actions today were simply too incredible, and he was completely different from the Kang Xiaoming before. Of course it's true, Kang Xiaoming nodded and said, Xiaofan, don't doubt my sincerity. Look, it's not good for me to stand here at the door. You don't want outsiders to hear what's going on between us, right? That would be terrible. You have your own life now. Let's talk about these ugly things inside the house. Just say whatever you want to say here. All the neighbors in this building have gone to the demolition mobilization meeting. There's no one else except me. Xiaofan still had no intention of letting Kang Xiaoming in. That's fine, Kang Xiaoming thought. Since everyone was gone, it made sense to talk about it here. So he continued, Xiaofan, we're adults now. Let's not discuss who was right or wrong about what happened in the past. I'll give you a lump sum of 500,000 yuan. What do you think? 500,000 yuan? Xiaofan was shocked. Kang Xiaoming's offer of compensation had already been a bit unbelievable, and now it was such a huge sum. Xiaofan was really suspicious of his intentions. Yes, but after you take the money, we'll also have to sign a brief agreement. I hope you won't tell anyone about our relationship anymore, not even those close to you, Kang Xiaoming said. After all, your current boyfriend is my cousin, and you constantly bringing up these things isn't reflective of our Kang family. That's it. Xiaofan was still a little skeptical. Kang Xiaoming's reasoning made sense, but the key question was there anyone in the Kang family who didn't know about this? Didn't Kang Xiaoming reveal this during the last birthday party? Yes, if you don't believe me, take a look at our agreement first. If you can do these things, the 500,000 yuan will be yours, Kang Xiaoming said, pulling out a copy of the agreement from his bag and handing it to Xiaofan. Xiaofan took the agreement and read it. It was exactly what Kang Xiaoming had said. He simply told her not to pursue the past and not to bring it up with anyone else. That alone would give her a lump sum compensation of 500,000 yuan. In truth, Xia Efen had no intention of pursuing Kang Xiaoming again. She blamed herself for the past. If she really pursued it, what could she do to him? In this kind of situation, it was a matter of mutual consent, and she couldn't hold it against him. However, Xia Efen didn't want Kang Xiaoming's money. Although she was poor, she had her own integrity. Lin Yi was Tang Yun's boyfriend, and she would have refused any money offered to him. Besides, Kang Xiaoming had only hurt her ex-boyfriend. But Xia Efen also knew that her family really needed the money, so for a moment, she was undecided and decided to call Kang Xiaobo to discuss it. This morning, before going to school, Kang Xiaobo called Lin Yi. Today, Kaibing Real Estate Company will go to the shanty town again to discuss the demolition. Kang Xiaobo is a little worried about Xia Efen, afraid that her family will suffer, but he has little influence and knows that it will be useless if he goes, so he wants Lin Yi to accompany him. Lin Yi is driving Chu Mengyao's Audi S5 today. Since the eldest lady asked him to drive, Lin Yi has no reason to refuse. When the car arrived at the school gate, Lin Yi honked the horn twice. Kang Xiaobo was stunned. He had never seen Lin Yi's car before. "Boss, your car?" Kang Xiaobo looked at Lin Yi's Audi S5 in surprise. Chu Mengyao's. Lin Yi smiled. "Get in the car. Li Chihu blew up my car. Even if you didn't tell me, I would have gone to him and asked him for money in the shantytown." The verbal agreement Lin Yi and Li Chihu had reached yesterday was effectively null and void. The subsequent car explosion had torn their relationship apart. Li Chihu refused to believe that Lin Yi didn't know how the car blew up. This put their relationship into a state of tension once again. Not only had the previous 5 million been given away for nothing, but Lin Yi was actually asking for compensation for the car. Was it blown up by Li Chihu? Kang Xiaobo was surprised. "It's hard to explain," Lin Yi said. "Let's talk while we walk, boss. I'm really sorry to bother you." Kang Xiaobo felt a little embarrassed. As a younger brother, he had not only failed to help the boss, but he had also been constantly bothering Lin Yi for help. Now he was even bothering Lin Yi with Xia Efen's family affairs. "It's just a piece of cake. I told you I'd go find Li Chihu." Lin Yi didn't think there was anything wrong with it. This was Lin Yi's personality. He treated his friends sincerely and didn't ask for anything in return. In the car, Lin Yi told Kang Xiaobo about the trip he had taken with Tang Yun's family to ask Li Chihu for money yesterday. He also told Kang Xiaobo why the car was blown up. Holy crap, Kang Xiaobo was shocked to hear that the collapse of the Kaibing building was still caused by Lin Yi. His boss was too awesome. He had built a building twice, and both times it collapsed. Kang Xiaobo was completely convinced. He collapsed the building and asked the building to compensate for the car. Only Lin Yi could do such an awesome thing. When they were almost at the shantytown, Kang Xiaobo's phone rang. He took it out and saw that it was Xia Efen calling. Kang Xiaobo's heart tightened. Could something have happened? He quickly picked up the phone and said anxiously, "Hello, Xia Efen? What happened? The boss and I are on the way. Wait for me, we'll be there soon." Chapter 799 Promise him first. Xiaobo, Kang Xiaoming is here. Xia Efen had to discuss this with Kang Xiaobo, out of respect for him. Kang Xiaoming? What's he doing here? Kang Xiaobo and Kang Xiaoming were practically done with each other. Ever since Dr. Kang's birthday party, the two families had essentially ceased contact, their relationship effectively severed. He said he did something wrong to me before and wanted to make amends. He offered me 500,000 yuan, Xia Efen explained Kang Xiaoming's intentions. Huh? What? He came to your house just to give you money? Kang Xiaobo was stunned. Had Kang Xiaoming changed? Could he? Someone like him would actually offer Xia Efen money. Was he taking the wrong medicine? Yes, and he brought me an agreement. He told me to sign it and he'd give me the money, Xia Efen said. It says I can no longer pursue his past actions, nor can I tell anyone about what happened between him and me. Xia Efen felt somewhat embarrassed as she spoke of this. After all, she felt so sorry for Kang Xiaobo. Kang Xiaobo frowned, subconsciously wanting Xia Efen to reject Kang Xiaoming. We're poor, but we're not poor in spirit. Wouldn't it be a sign of weakness to ask for Kang Xiaoming's money? He also knew this wasn't the time to act rashly. Xia Efen's family was desperate for money, And Kang Xiaobo knew that, but unlike Lin Yi, he couldn't offer much help. This money would undoubtedly be a timely help for Xiaofan's family, which was facing demolition. Wait, let me ask the boss and see what he says. Kang Xiaobo decided to ask Lin Yi's opinion. If Lin Yi also insisted on not letting him take the money, then he wouldn't take it, preferring a little hardship. However, after Kang Xiaobo repeated Xiaofan's words to Lin Yi said without hesitation, "Yes, you want it. You don't want money for free? You're really treating yourself badly if you don't even want your enemy's money. But tell her not to sign the agreement yet. We'll go and see if there's any problem, okay? I'll tell her then," Kang Xiaobo thought, and Lin Yi was right. Why wouldn't he want the enemy's money? Did Lin Yi just chase Li Chihu for money, and didn't think there was anything wrong with that? It seemed he'd been overthinking it. It would be foolish to refuse his enemy's money just for a trivial amount of face. Kang Xiao quickly told Xiaofan what Lin Yi meant, telling her not to refuse and just wait for him and Lin Yi to arrive. "Oh, okay," Xiaofan said, feeling a surge of gratitude when Kang Xiaobo said Lin Yi asked her to pay. This money was undoubtedly invaluable to her family, a life-saving gift. Even if Kaibing Real Estate Company could provide the standard compensation today, it would still be a drop in the bucket for everyone involved. Real estate in Songshan City was expensive right now, so where would there be so many remote houses to buy? With the current compensation, everyone couldn't afford a new home and would have to rent, which would undoubtedly make life difficult. With 500,000 yuan, Xiaofan's family could buy a similarly large house. Xiaofan was truly afraid Kang Xiaobo would force her to refuse, so she had no choice but to refuse. Xiaobo said that he will be here soon, so you go in and wait for a while. When he comes and confirms it, I will sign the agreement with you. Xiaofan was relieved after getting Kang Xiaobo's reply, and let Kang Xiaoming go into the house. After all, standing in the corridor was not appropriate. Okay. When Kang Xiaoming heard what Xiaofan said, he immediately felt that things were going well, and nodded with joy. "Don't worry, you just take a look at the contract, and do it according to the contract in the future, and we will be even." "Oh," Xiaofan nodded, went into the house, and started reading a book, leaving Kang Xiaoming on the sofa aside and ignoring him. But Kang Xiaoming didn't care. What did it matter whether Xiaofan paid attention to him or not? As long as Xiaofan took the money and kept her mouth shut, he could pursue Guanxin smoothly. Thinking that his plan was almost halfway to completion, Kang Xiaoming suddenly felt incredibly happy. "Your house hasn't changed in all these years, still so shabby, huh?" "Oh," Xiaofan frowned, wanting to get angry, but she felt it was unworthy to get angry at someone like Kang Xiaoming. She casually agreed and continued reading. A few years ago, Kang Xiaoming had visited Xiaofan's home and even promised to buy them a house. Xiaofan was so moved that she had blindly given her love and body to him. But Kang Xiaoming was done for, feeling that Xiaofan was a bit clingy and afraid of getting too attached, so he quickly brushed her off. As Lin Yi drove past the shanty town, he saw several large tents and tin huts set up outside. Signs read, "Temporary Demolition Offices" and the Kaibing Real Estate logo. However, Lin Yi didn't stop. He could always ask Li Chihu for money. The most urgent task now was to go to Xiaofan's house and deal with the problem of Kang Xiaoming. To be honest, Lin Yi didn't quite believe Kang Xiaoming would be so kind as to offer compensation to Xiaofan. With Kang Xiaoming's arrogant personality, how could he voluntarily yield for no reason? This reminded Lin Yi of Li Chihu's actions yesterday, when he'd compensated Tang Yun's family for no apparent reason. Unsolicited flattery was a sign of either treachery or theft. That's why Lin Yi didn't have Xiaofan sign the agreement directly with Kang Xiaoming. He wanted to go over and see what was going on. Boss, why did Kang Xiaoming suddenly come to give Xiaofan money? Could he be harboring those same thoughts about her again? Kang Xiaobo also sensed something was amiss, and the more he thought about it, the more it seemed to him. Haha, that's unlikely. Would Kang Xiaoming's return to Xiaofan be a slap in the face? I suspect he's up to something, but we don't know what it is yet, Lin Yi said. Let's go and see. Yes, Kang Xiaobo nodded. With Lin Yi on his side, he felt reassured. When the car was about to reach Xiaofan's house, it couldn't get through. There were several trench diggers and bulldozers blocking the road ahead, blocking the entire road. Lin Yi frowned and honked his horn twice. The trench diggers and bulldozer drivers were chatting on the side of the road. When they heard the horn, they were a little impatient. But when they saw Lin Yi's red Audi S5 sports car, They smiled. Anyone who could drive such a car must be rich and powerful, and the workers like them couldn't afford to offend. Sir, we can't get through. We are waiting for the time to come to demolish the building in front, a bulldozer driver who seemed to be the leader explained to Lin Yi. Chapter 800 Kang Xiaoming's True Purpose. If it were someone else, he wouldn't bother explaining. But Lin Yi drove a sports car and looked like a rich young man. Who knew his background? Maybe he even knew the group's boss, Bing Xiao. How could they dare to offend him? Tear down the building? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. He looked in the direction these people were pointing. Wasn't that Xiaofan's building? Kang Xiaobo was also shocked after hearing what these people said. These people wanted to tear down Xiaofan's building? But Xiaofan was still at home. What should they do? Boss Kang Xiaobo started to speak, but was stopped by Lin Yi with a look. He patted Kang Xiaobo on the shoulder and gave him a comforting look. Oh, then when are you going to start construction? Lin Yi glanced at Xiaofan's building and asked calmly. Who are you? Why are you asking so many questions? The bulldozer driver immediately looked at Lin Yi with a face full of vigilance. Oh, I was thinking of waiting until you're done demolishing before going over. I'm going to pick up some things from the old bungalow over there. Aren't they saying they're going to demolish it? I don't care about compensation or anything like that. I'll take the things away, and you can do whatever you want with it. Lin Yi spoke with the air of a dandy young master, quite pretentiously. Oh, we'll start demolishing at 8 o'clock sharp and probably finish around 10. But we're only demolishing this one building today, not the bungalow. You can come pick it up tomorrow. Upon hearing Lin Yi's words, the man immediately relaxed his guard and said to Lin Yi. That's fine, I'll come tomorrow. Lin Yi turned the car around and drove away, circling the shanty town before parking in a more secluded spot. Boss, they're tearing down the building, and Xiaofan's still inside, Kang Xiaobo said anxiously. It's only 7:35, and there's still 25 minutes left. We have plenty of time. Lin Yi smiled and got out of the car. Let's go, we're going to meet Kang Xiaoming. But, boss, why didn't you tell them there were people in the building? Kang Xiaoming was a little confused. If I told them, how could we have any fun? You'll find out in a minute, Lin Yi said as he quickly ran to Xiaofan's 3-section red brick building and entered the unit of the small branch family. Kang Xiaobo was confused, but seeing Lin Yi's confidence and out of trust in him, he didn't say much and followed Lin Yi upstairs in a hurry. Listen to me later, don't talk too much, Lin Yi instructed Kang Xiaobo as he knocked on the door. Okay, boss, Kang Xiaobo nodded. He obeyed Lin Yi's words unconditionally. Lin Yi knocked on the door, and Xiaofan quickly opened it. Seeing Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi, she exclaimed happily, You're here. Kang Xiaoming quickly stood up from the sofa. Seeing Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi, a flicker of hatred flashed in his eyes, but it quickly faded. Xiaobo, Lin Yi, I'm here to sincerely apologize to you today. Lin Yi naturally saw the flash of hatred in Kang Xiaoming's eyes and didn't believe he was truly apologizing. He might have other motives for coming here. Kang Xiaobo, mindful of Lin Yi's words, said nothing when he arrived. He ignored Kang Xiaoming and turned to Xiaofan. Xiaofan, are you okay? I'm fine. Kang Xiaoming was very polite when he came here. He didn't do anything out of line. Xiaofan shook her head. Kang Xiaobo was relieved. He had been worried that Kang Xiaoming would say something insulting and further provoke Xiaofan. Xiaofan had just recovered from her illness, so how could she withstand such provocation? Kang Xiaoming, right? Just tell me your purpose. Lin Yi sat on the sofa and looked at his watch leisurely. I'll give you 10 minutes. It was now 7:40, and 10 minutes would be 7:50, so there was still plenty of time. Kang Xiaoming was angry, thinking, what is Lin Yi's attitude? I came here to give you money, but you have this attitude? It's unreasonable. However, seeing that Kang Xiaobo and Xiaofan had no intention of speaking, it seemed that Lin Yi was still the leader here. If he wanted to achieve his goal, he had to talk to Lin Yi, so he had to say, I feel that I owed Xiaofan in the past, so this time I came here just to compensate her with some money, which can be regarded as making up for my previous mistakes. Do you think I will believe you when you say this? Lin Yi sneered. Okay, just tell me your purpose. Xiaofan doesn't need you to make up for it. Kang Xiaoming was stunned. He didn't expect Lin Yi's attitude to be so tough, but now he couldn't leave. How could he leave when his goal hasn't been achieved? In other words, the money had to be paid today. Kang Xiaobo and Xiaofan, standing by, were also surprised by Lin Yi's assertive attitude. Would that mean Kang Xiaoming was being chased out? Hadn't he previously said he'd accept the money? However, since Lin Yi was in charge, they didn't interrupt, waiting for him to handle the situation. Well, our Kang family is about to be promoted to a prestigious family, so I don't want to hear any rumors about me. Kang Xiaoming paused for a moment before saying, I want Xiaofan to stop mentioning what happened between her and me to outsiders, especially in public, like in the hospital, with nurses and the like. Lin Yi listened to Kang Xiaoming's half-truths, but only after hearing his last words did he understand his true purpose. A hospital nurse? Wasn't that Guanxin? Lin Yi sneered inwardly. This guy wanted to pursue Guanxin, but he was afraid that Guanxin would know about his past misdeeds. Plus, he might have seen Xiaofan and Guanxin know each other, so he wanted to silence her. 500,000 yuan was a hush money. That's all. If you have a purpose, just tell us. It's just hush money, right? Okay, we'll take it. Lin Yi waved his hand, somewhat impatiently saying, where's the money? It's so early in the morning, and I don't have anywhere to withdraw money. But it's already in my bank card. Kang Xiaoming pulled a bank card from his pocket and said to Lin Yi. In a bank card? How do we know if there's any money in it? Lin Yi asked in disbelief. You can check at the bank. There's a bank nearby, Kang Xiaoming said. Okay, let's go check at the bank first. If there's money in there, we'll come back and sign the agreement. Lin Yi took the bank card from Kang Xiaoming and said to him. Then I'll go with you. Kang Xiaoming seemed a little worried. This is Xiaofan's house. Are you still worried that we won't come back? Lin Yi smiled. Kang Xiaoming hesitated, but then he remembered that he was sitting at Xiaofan's house. Even if they ran away, they couldn't escape the temple. Would they have to come back eventually? So he nodded and said, alright, then go quickly and come back soon. I'll wait for you here. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.